Research, Mohali.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious presence at the event. I feel honored to introduce the session chair, Professor Dr. V.K. Dikshit, sir, former professor and head of Department of Pharmaceutical Science at Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Sir was a member of the Pharmacy Council of India and a member of the AICT Regional Committee. Sir was also on the governing body of NIPER Mohali as its member. Sir was a member of the All India Board of Pharmaceutical Education of AICT. Sir was active in the field of phytochemistry, pharmacology, and tissue culture of medicinal and aromatic plants. Novel and controlled drug delivery system was also one of the fields in which Sir has made impressive contributions.
It's my honor to introduce the session co-chair, Professor C.S. Bhargav sir, chairman at Advanced Group of Pharmacy College, Kanpur. Sir was engaged in manufacturing of allopathic medicines for 40 years and established Advanced Group of Pharmacy Colleges in Kanpur. Sir holds the post of General Secretary and President in Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association, Kanpur, and also an active member of the Rotary Club.
I invite session speaker Dr. Saranjit Singh sir, session chair Professor Dr. V.K. Dikshit sir, and session co-chair Professor C.S. Bhargav sir on their days to grace the session. Please welcome me in giving a huge round of applause and welcome all the dignitaries on the dais. Please give a huge round of applause to all the dignitaries on the dais.
Thank you all the dignitaries for your gracious presence on the dais. I request Dr. A.K. Rai sir to present a bouquet to Dr. Saranjit Singh sir, the speaker of the session. Please give a huge round of applause.
I request Professor Dr. Gaurav Tiwari sir, PSIT, to present the bouquet to Professor Dr. V.K. Dikshit sir. Please give a huge round of applause.
I request Dr. Akash Ved sir to present bouquet to Professor V.K. Dikshit sir. Please give a huge round of applause.
I request Dr. Rohit Dutt sir to present the bouquet to Professor C.S. Bhargav sir. Please give a huge round of applause. I request the session chair and session co-chair to introduce the speaker of the session. I request session co-chair Professor C.S. Bhargav sir to introduce the speaker of the session.
Good afternoon, everybody. Professor Saranjit Singh is a very well-known scientist and researcher, and anybody who is in pharmacy definitely know Dr. Saranjit Singh. Formal introduction of Dr. Singh has already been given by the compeer in the introductory remarks, and therefore, without waiting any time, I invite Professor Saranjit Singh to deliver today's oration lecture. Dr. Singh, please.
कानपुर वन वो चाहिए सर आपको पॉइंटर पॉइंटर सर हेलो ये चेंज कर दो
Hello. Hello, mic testing. Hello. Extremely thankful to the chair and co-chair for the nice introduction. Friends, very happy to be here today. My slide says good morning, everyone. Consider it to be good morning because your tummies are filled and sleepy behavior will be there. But if you think that we are at 11:30 time, you'll be awake. I have very, very tough job at hand. 160 slides I have brought. And they say squeeze to 20 minutes. And I have all the menu for your sleeping. Thanks to the organizing committee of APTICON 2002-03 for inviting me to the city of Kanpur. I have been to Kanpur once earlier, but special was seeing a red ambulance passing when we were coming from the hotel to the morning to this place, to the venue. And red ambulance, promoted by Red Dot Health, is my son's venture. So already it's a 600 CR company, going to be another 3 months, going to be 1000 CR company. And it provides a medical transport throughout the country. So happy to see that ambulance today on the street of Kanpur. My planned focus today was this one. We are talking since morning of sustainability. Now, I have been connected with the industry since long, although I have not a single day experience in industry. Since inception of my career, I have been connected in one way or other with the industry. So I'm very much concerned about industry, and that's why the title is Global Sustainability of Indian Pharma Industry in Era of Heightened Regulatory Scrutiny and Stringency. So what is the role of academia? Now to start with, I will very quickly go through the slides. Don't worry. I will take the shortest period. It's a matter of pride of us that we are pharmacy of the world, and every third pill consumed in the world is from India. All due to the leadership of our industry in the generic formulations and vaccines. And the advantage of generic pharma products, you can see over here, that 49,000 is the branded product cost of hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and $151 is the generic product cost. So we are in a great advantage over here due to this. And same is the case of the drugs of sofosbuvir. And you can see what is the cost in the Western world and what is the cost in India over here. Going forward, the recognition is there of pharma industry at the highest level, which happened in the COVID times. And our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, declared India's pharma industry an asset to the entire world. In budget of 2022, the Indian pharmaceutical industry was named to be the sunrise sector. And in the morning, our friend from industry has told you about the figures where we stand today. The projection is of Stampertus growth of cumulative annual growth rate of 10.7%. And this is the good part, that our students, none of them remains unemployed. And there is always going to be the scope of students to join the pharmaceutical industry. And this trend is going to be remaining in the future because we all are going to have heightened health issues if we are not following the requirement of doing yoga daily. But the question arises, is the projected growth and current status sustainable in an era of heightened regulatory scrutiny and heightened regulatory stringency? My answer is yes. There will be no issue. Only thing is, if we are really bothered that our industry has absolute emphasis on integrity and product quality. Without these two, I think we will face issues all the time. We have not learned the lessons from the past, unfortunately. Our industry has not done that, which was expected. And the first 483, because I keep interested in stability testing, which was issued to Ranbaxy, was on stability testing. There were 3,000 samples which were withdrawn from stability chambers, but lying untested, and the reports computer-generated reports have gone to US FDA for filing. So with that stage, that which has happened, and this was the first warning letter that was issued to Ranbaxy. The second, and then there were a lot of regulatory actions, including that they had to pay $500 million to US FDA for the fraud that was done. And of course, we had a sad ending of our major pride company. And now we are hearing the news of the chemical, industrial, and pharmaceutical laboratory. The CIPLA is on the verge of losing another pharma major. India is on the verge of that, which rather showed path to Indian pharma industry to quality, low-cost generics. Here you can see the news. Torrent joins fray for Hamid family stake in CIPLA up against Blackstone and Behring. Like Sun Pharma from Daiichi, Sun Pharma bought Ranbaxy, the same effort is going on. If their stake is on sale somehow on the block, let Indian company buy it over Western world companies. Now, the question is, there is a recent dishonorable news that is refusing to die down. And this is from CIDRAP, which is Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy of University of Minnesota. So it says, tainted drug deaths, weak regulation, corrode confidence in Indian drugs, and they say made Indian drugs are under cloud today. Narayan Murthy says very openly, she says, death of 66 children in Gambia has brought unimaginable shame to India, Narayan Murthy. This is the 4 syrups that came into cloud and had caused the death in Gambia. Maiden Pharma is already an approved WHO GMP company. Now, you can see over here in Haryana, the list is over there in the CDSO website, 2018, and Maiden Pharma in Haryana list, you can find at serial number 887, and the serial number of the state-wise 28, the Maiden Pharma is listed. Now, the inspection was done immediately after the flaws were found, and lot of list of flaws were listed to the company that you are not doing this, not doing this, not doing this. Now the question is, nobody has looked into the history of Maiden Pharma. Very interesting case. There was from Bihar, State Health Society Bihar, Karya Adesh, जिसमें spurious, not of standard quality, and all those issues were raised with respect to the Maiden Pharma. Then, Time of India news was there, in which the 2 drugs family listed with the Maiden Pharma was also one of the company that was blacklisted by Bihar. Then in J&K, DCO Zone 2 Srinagar, Maiden Pharmaceutical Limited have objected to the quality of products that was being made by Maiden Pharma. Very interestingly, one court case was filed by our drug inspectors, drug control department, into the court, and the company was fined only 1,000 rupees. But nobody had followed this record, and this is the mockery of our regulation system or the judicial system, and our laws, they allow only fine of 1,000 rupees, which now Mr. Amit Shah has put in the parliament that it should go with the imprisonment. And then from Gujarat laboratory, you can see how many of the maiden, and all these substandard batches the company had been producing. So despite negative history of the company, a testing result from international lab, India took a defending stand. The results of Switzerland lab, WHO commissioned lab reports show contamination in Indian cough syrup linked to Gambia deaths. And you can see over here results of EG and DG content by Switzerland lab Intertech. So you can see what are the values of EG and DG in these products. And then comes the India's defense. Unfortunately, India started defending itself, and our worthy minister bid to sully India's tag as pharmacy of the world. DCGI was forced to write, I know it was forced to write, Mr. Somani was forced to write to WHO a letter which I'm showing to the next slide. This is a letter from Somani's office to WHO. So where it was put into the press, DD News, it says, reads like this: there's no direct causal relation between cough syrup consumption and deaths of children in Gambia. WHO's premature conclusion was unfortunately amplified by global media for building a wrong narrative against India's pharmaceutical products. So this was the situation that was happening all over. Now, the defending effort, जिसको हम कहते हैं मुंह पे ही वापस पड़ना, that situation happened. It bounced back. Liberia MOH issues alert on toxic cough syrups from India. Uzbekistan says 18 children died due to cough syrup made by Indian firm Marian Biotech. Nigeria's drug regulatory issues alert against painkiller made by Mumbai-based Signer Care. India orders drug maker linked to Cameroon cough syrup deaths to stop manufacturing. Poison found in Indian-made cough syrup sold in Iraq. Punjab-based drug maker asked to stop manufacturing after sample found to be non-standard quality, and this was Marshall Islands and Federated States of Micronesia. Do not use it, WHO's alert over another India-made common cold syrup. This is the latest one. And the news is unebbing still. It is continuing. What is that? US concerned over spread of drug-resistant germ tied to Indian eye drops. You must have read this news but never sequenced it in this manner. And there had been 3 deaths and 8 cases of blindness and dozens of infections have been traced to eye drops made by Chennai-based Global Pharma Healthcare under brand name Ezicare or whatever it is. Now, the realization has come fast, thankfully. And now that the country's drug control setup has to strongly play the regulatory role. Earlier, our drug control department was playing more of the drug licensing role. Maiden Pharma was given a license, but there was no follow-up inspections that were going on. And all the wrong things were being held in the company premises. So realization has come now that we have to act as regulatory authorities, not only as licensing authorities. So cough syrup deaths, India's drug regulator must stop treating public health crises as public relations problems. Poison cough syrup traced to India reveals lapses in regulation. And from the Ranbaxy whistleblower, Mr. Dinesh S. Thakur has written the book, The Myth of Drug Regulation in India. So good thing is, appreciable thing is that some activity has started at the government level and they have taken some steps. Field action 1 that has been taken is Indian government cracks down on 18 drug companies for poor quality manufacturing, and what has happened is 18 pharma companies lose licenses. Why it won't change much for drug regulation? The question mark also comes immediately that we have 8,500 MSME industries and only 18 what it will do to India drug quality. Have taken regulatory action against 105 pharma companies, health minister. And he says manufacturing halted in 40 pharma companies after inspection in 162 firms. So that activity is going on. That is from 18, it has gone to 162 today. And now what the news it came on 29th of August says that 203 pharma companies and more than 25 pharma companies are issued notices, show cause notices. Field action 2 that has been taken immediately is the implementation of Schedule M. And this was the Schedule M to be compulsory for MSME firms involved in drug manufacturing government. So this was 11th July that this news came. But the issue came over immediately. Industry said, which Schedule M you are talking about? So industry was perplexed that 2001 Schedule M implemented in 2005. Are you talking of that? It means in the interim period there was no Schedule M for industry at all, working in Schedule M. So what they say, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya's comment on 2005 pharma rule baffles industry members. Then clarification comes that pharma companies with over 250 crore turnover have to adopt GMP within 6 months, and this is draft of Schedule M of the Drug and Cosmetic Act prepared in 2018 has been approved and implemented. I don't know whether it's a news people who have put a wrong thing. It has still not come in the Gazette of India. It still remains the draft. So that situation is the practical situation today. Express view on government direction on Indian drug standards, a partial remedy. Whatever you want to do, it's going to be a partial remedy. Indian pharma industry is chasing a mirage called GMP. Only 2,000 out of 10,000 pharma firms comply with WHO GMP standards in India, 3 from Nagpur. So my friend from Nagpur, this is the real thing, and how many companies are there in Nagpur? So out of only 3 are WHO GMP. That is what is put in the Nagpur today. Field action 3, government's new rule for cough syrup exports from June, that every cough syrup that is exported from India has to be tested in a government lab. Okay, done. So order comes from Dr. Rajiv Raghuvanshi with respect to that. This is the order copy. Now, don't ask me from where I'm getting the original photocopies of these. Don't ask me that. I have my own channels in the DCGI office and otherwise, all through. My good friends are there. I can't help me. I get a phone call in the morning. What is happening to the total industry and DCGI office? I get a phone call and get all these news and cuttings. This is a different from academia activity and research activity. So, the news comes, is India doing enough to clean up its pharmaceutical industry? The question is raised with respect to what happens. Syrups that are being exported are to be tested for the presence of these DEG, EG in government labs. What about we people in India, consumers in India? No testing required? So this is the question raised over here. Patients within India who purchase cough syrup from these very companies continue to be subjected to substandard medicines. So cough syrup samples for export piling up at government lab center looks to open private facilities. Because state laboratories refuse to do the testing, they say we don't have the facilities of GCMS, MS that is required to do the testing. And only some of the leading government labs were accepting, but they do analysis of samples. 15 days they take to analyze a sample. So they said there's a pile up of samples. You can see again, details number of batches of cough syrup samples received for testing in Central State Drug Testing Laboratories as on by 22nd August. This is the number, and most of the laboratories is nil. They are unable to test the products. This is the reality of Indian regulatory system and our drug testing labs. We have to accept that. Now again, you will say, from where you have got this data? This is not in public. But for me, I'm not a public. So I fear this is going to happen with every importing country unless steps are taken to generate all-round confidence. So what Gambia has said, that we will do the testing on our own. And for Indian pharma companies, it means our testing, they don't have confidence. They want to do their own testing. Fine. Indian-made cough syrups. Gambia panel suggests legal action against India and drug company. Whole India is under cloud due to one company and due to regulatory weakness. Uzbekistan say contaminated Indian cough syrup that killed 65 children was on market due to bribery. the Indian companies have sold their products in their countries due to bribery, giving the bribery. And now, including an Indian, they have put a case. So this is now the MSME sector status. Let's go to the big pharma. They have their own challenges. Because we are brand name drugs and generic drugs versus inspections that have been carried out in physical year 2019, you can see India, number of inspections of our big companies, how it is going on, big way. So what these inspections lead to? They lead to official voluntary actions, plant closure, warning letters, and product recalls. So among the leading examples, Pfizer halts production at India injector plant after FDA finds issues. Sun Pharma temporarily halts shipments from Mohali facility to implement US FDA mandated measures. And this is old Ranbaxy plant. And people are saying, Sun Pharma could not have all the persons in all the Ranbaxy plants to replace them. So the culture remains the same. So Sun Pharmaceutical Limited warning letter issued. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories warning letter issued. US FDA uncovers fresh faults in India's second biggest drug maker, Aurobindo. Now they are targeting the major players, the big players, the first top 10 or top 20. Lupin share price falls as US FDA issues 2 observations for Nagpur facility. FDA warns Intas, Centaur, and Baxter over GMP violation in Indian facilities. US FDA issues warning letter to Intas Pharma for Lapsiter Sanan plant. Cipla shares dip as US FDA find regulatory gaps in Pithampur facility inspection. So now these are 2 cases. I just put 2 cases of product recall. Cipla issues voluntary nationwide recall of 6 batches of albuterol sulfate due to container defect. And Indian pharma company Lupin recalls skin medicine USA over poor quality. So the question is, we are talking of global sustainability of our industry. We are proudly saying we are the every third pill, and we are coming under a big cloud with respect to the inspections being carried out and due to the deaths in Gambia. So evidently there is intolerance of international regulatory bodies against any of the misdoings in the industry. Not very pleasing press news. Indian pharma industry in doldrums. Vion says US FDA reports contamination in factories. US FDA uncovers failures in Indian pharma factories. Sure, we can say we are proud, but story in press is saying something different. So now some collaborations we are talking, and your theme also say word collaboration. So I thought I should put something about collaborations also. And that collaboration that has happened is Gujarat FDCA US-based iCredit jointly conduct workshop to equip senior regulators to good governance. Now they need to do good regulatory governance. And moreover, India-US to collaborate to upgrade pharmaceutical quality to global standards, says US official, as a G20 program held recently in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar. So they have decided that we will educate you so that the complaints that are coming, USA needs generics. You see the branded cost of branded. They need generics. The world needs generics. Only thing is, now they are saying that we will need to collaborate with each other. So apart from field actions, the government is taking more steps to define the image of the country as pharmacy of the world. So recently, there was a news, India to stay world's pharmacy plan to push innovation in medicine devices to be launched in September. It has to go to the cabinet meeting in the September, and a lot of 3,000 or 4,000 crores is going to be put in innovation. And this is an opportunity for our research people also. Be a party and try to get some share of this money that is going to be available for innovation. The government has a view. Always Mr. Mandiva is telling industry, and I don't know, yet has not shared yet with the APTI chiefs, that I am doing everything. I am defending India, what industry is doing. There again complaint and complaint and complaint on quality coming, what you are doing. And we in APTI, what we are doing to educate and give quality education to our students. So my concern over here is this challenging environment, what is anticipated role of the faculty in academia and the institutions? First, we should make our students aware of challenges, problems, and knowledge gaps faced by the Indian pharmaceutical industry, who is their employer, biggest employer. Faculty should push themselves and the student to regularly read official action notices, warning letters, product recall notification, and pharma news. How many of you daily check Google for pharma news of today or yesterday? Hardly you will be doing it. I do it daily in the morning. First check what is happening to the pharma industry at whole, being a stakeholder. Brainstorm the common reason how this could be avoided. Register with web portals for local and international regulatory news to keep updated on daily basis. So this is Regulatory Affairs Professional Society. I have registered with that. They send me early morning, they send email to me daily on what is happening in regulatory affairs all over the world. Even what is going to happen 5 years from now, that news comes on my portal or mobile, on email. And you can see over here, what they have written over here. FDA to transition to electronic export documents for devices in 2024. What is going to happen in future also is coming over here. Similarly, you have pharmabiz.com, Access Pharma, Economic Time, Business Standard, sector, which you can really look into to be updated all the time what is happening to the industry. And pharmabiz.com, you can say what is new. US FDA warning letter recently posted for June 2003, May 2023, April 2023. They are putting, why don't we read them? What is this warning letter has been issued for industry? What is our role in that? Perceptive role in that. And you can see over here, our worthy Drug Controller General of India say IPC specifications similar to global standards is claiming that Indian pharmacopoeia standards are now being harmonized to global standards. That's a very different challenge, for industry at least. So, may refer also to summaries and reviews available on FDA actions. This is type of top 5 warning letter citations from October 2018 to 2019, and what are the reasons they are listed over there. There are blogs which say FDA warning letter inspection observation trends updated 2023. Why don't we ask our students to read them through? And we also read them through. Discuss, do brainstorming, what is happening to our industry and what we can do with that to intervene. It is desirable to even discuss the monthly CDSO drug alert, where recalls are being advised. This is a list that is put monthly on the CDSO website of whether companies where assay failure is happening, description of foreign and particular matter assay, and this is CDL Kolkata, which has tested and found the product to be bad. And we don't ask students to create summary of the reasons for failures. Until unless we do that and find out which brands is again and again showing those problems and which companies' products are showing this problem. And maybe we are not aware of this, we have not seen the list, and we are consuming these products. Because in India, there is no mechanism where every single piece of tablet can be recalled. Because it is all sold on without prescription. And nobody knows where the product has gone. Unlike US, where every pill is counted and it is known where it has gone. 2, the faculty shall ensure that their teaching and research is regulatory oriented. It is a formula for win-win situation on both sides. I have done my whole career research of students with students, PhD, masters. It was all regulatory oriented. And tell you, 100 companies I have worked with and provided consultancy and project work we have done for that. So earning crores of rupees for the institute, only because I was aware of what are the going to happen and demands from industry that are going to happen. Academic institution can help industry by creating facility infrastructure to help solve regulatory post-stringency. One example I'm giving, recommended accepted intake limits for nitrosamine drug substance related impurities. Now this has come very recent. I called my student Naipar Ahmedabad, why don't you create a infrastructure and facility and start testing for NDSI in the pharmaceutical product. You can see a special issue has come in Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences where he has published a very, very innovative approach that any drug, whether it will form NDSI or not. So there is a similar kind of requirement from the European Medicine Agency. And you can see over here how many drugs can lead to a nitrosation and form a nitroso derivative. Drugs can also form fructose derivatives, which are genotoxic. Okay, ji, thank you, ji. List is very long. Clapped? Thank you. Should I close?
Thank you, Dr. Saranjit Singh, for your
I stopped.
eye-opening studies.
But, please give me permission to show the last 2 slides. It's very, very important. I skip. Sorry. I'm skipping this part. This was important for students, but I'm skipping this part. Thanks a lot for your kind attention. And this is most important slide where I say, wishing you all the success. And Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr.
Sir, we are
Saranjit
indebted
Singh.
for sharing your invaluable insights and knowledge, which have enriched our understanding and broadened our horizons. Now, I would like to request session co-chair, Professor C.S. Bhargav, sir, to conclude the session.
Thank you, Saranjit Singh ji. This is very much eye-opening studies you made of your topics. I really appreciate. And now I encourage the audience to ask any question. Who is courageous enough to ask the first question?
So we'll discuss every time in person, but now with the crowd. Sir, a very genuine issue. From so many years, we have already discussed this impurity, and you are also doing the same thing. We are also doing the same thing. Sir, how to rationalize this? And how to control this quality? Because it degrades the name of the nations. When this comes, as your Gambia issues is there, so it is and we are the 3rd largest, and more than the 40% of the drugs used in the USA. Yeah. So, how to rationalize this quality?
See, government is ready now to give innovation encouragement by 4,000, 5,000 crores. Academic institute says, I want LCMS to run an impurity, because none of the government lab, it has been found, recent study, none of the government labs do related substance tests given in Indian pharmacopoeia. They don't have facilities. So the question is, one is that capacity building of government lab has to be done. Now, if we have to employ the analyst, you have to send the quality analyst for government lab. If you are not producing quality, what government will do? Finally, it comes to teachers. In the morning, you have got a lot of appreciation of our worthy Deputy Chief Minister about the strength of teachers. We people have to give good, qualified persons to run in industry, government laboratory, or in academia also. We need quality teachers. Why? Dr. Dikshit, आप सब आके इनके पैरी पे हाथ लगाते हो, मैं भी लगाता हूँ. क्यों? Quality teacher. So the question is where we are producing quality students. Thanks. APTI is venturing into doing a lot of activities for training of teachers in colleges which do not. Second, those institutions which can afford to do it, they are rich, should have all these modern instruments, tools to do this activity. Why only NIPERs? NIPERs have been given additional 100 crores of rupees now, recently each NIPER, 700 crores. Gazette of India already notifications come to set up Center of Excellence. Why don't you ask for Center of Excellence in your institution? Out of this 4,500 crore, the government is going to spend on pharma innovation. Okay, see, we have to accept that. Somewhere we are failing our system in the education sector with the fragmentation of the institution. And the whole cry with Mr. Montu Patel, PCI, हमें सैलरी तो 20,000 से 30,000 करवा दो. क्या करेंगे? I feel sorry. I enjoy pension of 1 lakh rupees plus 1 lakh rupees from government, and these people don't get a salary of 20,000 rupees in. And whole work they have to done, teaching, huge lot of teaching, and all that evaluation and administrative work. Sorry, sir. I'm very frank on some things. Our institutions have to respect teachers. अगर वो जो respect इनकी है, जो आपकी है, अगर ये respect हमें earn करनी है, तो हमें अपने आप earn करनी है.
Please give a huge round of applause for sir.
Any other question? Thank you very
Sir,
much for
sir,
your
sir,
enlightening presentation.
You want to ask?
May I request Dr. Dikshit ji to speak a few words?
Thank you, Professor Singh. It was a very revealing lecture. He has drawn the attention of all of us towards the real problem. We are patting our backs that we are third and largest manufacturer, this and that. But the warning that he has given should be taken a serious note, not only by the regulators, but by we teachers also. I congratulate him for pointing out and deliberating on such an important issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are honored to have such an enlightening session today. Before we proceed further, we would like to take a moment to express our gratitude to the distinguished dignitaries who have graced us with their insights.
I request Professor Dr. V.K. Dikshit sir to present a token of gratitude to Speaker of the session, Dr. Saranjit Singh sir. Please give a huge round of applause. I request Professor Dr. V.K. Dikshit sir to present a token of gratitude to the co-session C.S. Bhargav sir. Please give a huge round of applause. I request the hospitality team once again, please give a huge round of applause for all our dignitaries.
Please. I request the hospitality team to kindly escort the dignitaries to their respective places.
I would like to introduce to our upcoming pair of anchors, Kajal and Nikita, as we go into the next stage of our event, who will eloquently take the lead.
Changes call for innovation, and innovation leads to progress. With these words, I, Nikita Shukla,
and I, Kajal Upadhyay, cordially welcomes all the dignitaries, esteemed guests, and honored participants to the Dr. G. Bhagwant Memorial Lecture. Today, we gather to commemorate the life and contributions of Dr. G. Bhagwant, a remarkable individual whose impact continues to resonate with us.
To guide us through this journey, we have the privilege of introducing distinguished dignitaries who will be presiding over this session. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our session speaker, Professor Dr. Ramesh K. Goyal sir, Vice Chancellor and Professor at Delhi Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research University, for taking out the time to join us as a speaker at this memorial lecture. Your presence and contribution will add immense value to the event.
Let's give a huge round of applause for sir. It is my honor to introduce our session chair, Dr. Sanjay Jain sir, Professor of Pharmaceutics at Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Central University, Sagar, MP. With over 33 years of teaching and research experience, sir has made significant contributions to the field and has an impressive publication record. Dr. Jain's research focuses on innovation, drug delivery systems of gastrointestinal and brain-related diseases, and has received several awards.
And our session co-chair, Professor Dr. Ranjit Singh sir, Vice Chancellor at Shobhit University, Gangoh, Saharanpur. In a distinguished career spanning over 2 decades, Sir has held various eminent positions in the academic and pharmaceutical realms. From serving as a lecturer, reader, and professor of pharmaceutics, Sir's commitment to shaping the minds of students has remained unwavering.
Let's give a huge round of applause for our dignitaries as they acquire their seats on the dais. I request Dr. Sanjay Jain sir and Dr. Ranjit Singh sir to present our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Ramesh K. Goyal sir with the bouquet. Let's give a huge round of applause for sir. I request Dr. Vishal Jain sir to present our eminent speaker, session chair, Professor Dr. Sanjay Jain sir with the bouquet. Dr. Vishal Jain sir, please join us on the stage. I request Dr. Akash Ved sir to present our eminent session chair, Professor Dr. Sanjay Jain sir with the bouquet. Let's give a huge round of applause for us, sir. I request Dr. Parajanya Shukla sir to present our respected session co-chair, Professor Dr. Ranjit Singh sir with the bouquet. Sir, please join us on the stage. Dr. Parajanya K. Shukla sir, please join us on the stage. Dr. Neeraj Singh, please join us on the stage on behalf of sir. Let's give a huge round of applause for our session co-chair. Keep the applause going.
We kindly request our session co-chair, Professor Dr. Ranjit Singh sir, to introduce our visionary speaker, Professor Dr. Ramesh K. Goyal sir.
Let's welcome sir on the podium with a huge round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is really a privilege to introduce Professor Goyal. He's one of the teachers of the teacher. And this opportunity I have hijacked from Professor Ranjit because I told Ranjit that I will introduce sir. So Professor R.K. Goyal, as you know, he's the Vice Chancellor of the Delhi Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research University, Delhi. He started his journey from LM College of Pharmacy in 1978, and then he worked there up to, I think, 2011. And then he became the Vice Chancellor of MS University, and you will be surprised to know that and he's, I think this is the second term in Delhi Pharmaceutical Science and Research University. This is the only University of Pharmaceutical Sciences. And he's well-known pharmacologist, and especially working on cardiovascular diseases. And he has many awards. When I was looking the CV of Professor Goyal, there are 78 awards, including so many international awards and national awards. So big round of a clap to Professor Goyal. He is having more than 700 publications, out of which 361 research publications. mostly based on the cardiovascular drug. He's the only scientist, I can say, in the country who's still interested, although he is in the administration, but still you will find him in the lab doing the research. So without taking much time, I invite Professor Ramesh K. Goel for his oration. Thank you. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Jain, Professor S.K. Jain sir, Dr. Ranjit Singh ji. I am really overwhelmed by your introduction, and I am highly obliged and thankful to the organizers, APTI, Professor Ramandang, Professor, the President, Dr. Omekar, and the team of the institute, the organizers. Right now, the match of India-Pak 50 overs is going on, and we all know that rain has stopped probably, and we have to reduce down to 20 or I don't know, 15 also. So same thing is here also. So maybe I have also chosen the title 2020 of pharmacy now. We are in the pharmacy, and 2020 and G20. If I am in Delhi, whole Delhi is G20, that's it. They will be closing down everything. Everywhere the shining is going on. And 2020, we all know what happened. And so I thought, let me have the same thing. Well, this is the oration of the Professor Bhagwant Memorial Lecture. And when I was typing Bhagwant, Google was showing only Bhagwant Man. That is again an irony rather. Why I am telling is not to do anything, but politicians are recognized first rather than the scientists or rather than the teachers. That is what is the reality. And the lecture our Dr. Saranjit Singh has given, I think it is worth taking what it is there. It is not just a lecture, it was something eye-opener, something which every teacher has to learn. See, learning something in a subject, learning something in a research strategy is one thing, but learning something, the experiences, that is what is important. And NEP 2020, people say multidisciplinary, why you have to learn music, this, that, but one has to understand the spirit behind it. While coming from hotel to here, when we were talking, Dr. Saranjit and myself, the spirit people are not understanding. That is the problem. Spirit of regulation, that is important. So anyway, I dedicate this lecture to, because it's a memorial lecture, I am really thankful that I have been given this opportunity. I never had a chance to learn more about him, but chemistry, so I am trying to focus my talk also there. So thank you very much, all the dignitaries, and my colleagues are also there, Dr. Fauzi and Dr. Amrita. So I will be really happy to give this lecture. Now, 2020, why I am putting this, not because of cricket, but because 2020 was something crucial to the world. Whole world was shaken up, and it was COVID. I am not going to go into detail because of the time, but certainly COVID is still there. 2023, again it is emerging. And the problem is still we have not understood this COVID. But COVID has given many things, and that's what I want to tell. Even today, although it has been faded, you are seeing the fade, but still there is a chance of emergence. It may be of different type. But what it has given, the science of science, or what we say, the very important to me as a teacher is free data sharing. That was never there. If I had to read Lancet, I have to search a library where you can find this Lancet. But after that, I'm reading Lancet every now and then. That is what is the difference which has occurred. The innovation. And again, new normals have come. What Professor Saranjit Singh told, are you reading every day what you are learning? See, I am the administrator. As a Vice Chancellor, it is very difficult for me to come. Unfortunately, I did that, and in that process, I lost my administration and paying the price also for that. But as a teacher, you cannot do this. You have to be in touch. I was also reading at that time regularly 2-3 hours on only COVID, nothing else, minimum. And that's how I could do certain things. I will not go again into details of that, but the messages are important. See, you are all teachers, you are reading subjects and all that, so we are not going to teach you anything, but few ideas only we are going to give. Same thing I will do in the name of that. Our Prime Minister, Honorable Sri Modi ji, told that in one of the convocation address that, that COVID has given the taste of technology, trust in technology, and temperament of technology. This is worth noting down. And today we are in the era of AI now. To talk about the AI is easy, but how to implement in teaching, especially pharmacy teaching, I am going to come to that in very brief. Well, we are all celebrating the G20. So I also asked one of my staff member, Dr. Sachin Kumar, he compiled one thing. We always believe that US, everything is coming first in US. It is not correct. If you see the first pharmacy educational institutes, first was Germany, Italy, then France, then your Turkey, and different have come. It is not US. This is something to be understood again. Don't go by what is being the wave. Learn yourself. If you see the first pharmacy, apothecary, or the shop, it was first in the, again, France, Germany, Italy. And you know what happened in the, during the COVID time. India was something in the middle. It was almost close to, we will say, in the Canada, US, and then India is coming here. In the Goa College of Pharmacy is the first pharmacy. You know, it was Portuguese, but it was first. Like that, see, what we are trying to tell that look, teaching as well as education, the facts from different angle also. Look that regulatory part which Professor Saranjit Singh told. Look in a different, during COVID, it was not possible to go strictly by the regulations. So there was regulatory relaxation. That only made possible to control COVID. Otherwise, it was not possible. And in that, few strategies came, and that's what I will try to see. So I wanted to talk a lot, but whatever, I'm not a hardcore chemistry person, a pharmacologist, but pharmacology cannot survive. We say pharmacology means there is a beggar branch, it will borrow from every, he will beg from different branches. That's what even Satoshkar's book is also saying. So, I used to see different things, but this I remember when I was learning pharmacology, at that time I used to see how receptor and the chemical structures interact. It was a simple acetylcholinesterase. It is given in all pharmacology books. It is given. And what happened, one of my students was, and then I used to enjoy this somehow structure-activity relationship. Sympathomimetics, how one catechol group, OH group is removed and how the drug becomes different. It is very important to understand. Well, one of my students was working on anti-hyperlipidemic. Dr. C.J. Shishu actually, with the Cadila Labs, at that time got this molecule patented in I'm talking of 1990 itself. And I got into this, Dr. T.P. Gandhi and they were there, and we found that this is a very potential compound. But nothing was known, mechanism and all that. And one of the student or one of the colleague asked a question, why it is not active, when you give injection, the animal dies, but when you give orally, it is effective. And to my surprise, the whole thing came up in the pharmacokinetics, the bypass effect which was there, liver, so it was clear from the mechanism that it is working at the liver itself. See, the drug discovery, how? And then the quantitative structure-activity relationship revealed that this drug is not absorbable, it is acting on the lipid solubility only. What I am trying to tell, that simple structure-activity relationship, QSAR, and then today what we are talking, Schrödinger or anything material, that is what is the whole hierarchy it has gone in. But it doesn't mean that you have to forget the structure-activity relationship, which you learn at the basic level. And that's what the student has to be told, that no, it is must. You cannot afford to forget those things. That is what is the thing. So now we all know that how this CADD works, and the Nobel Prize also came, how protein structure has been revealed and everything has come. And so drug discovery has changed by itself the process. And in that, again, the importance of pharmacokinetics, because it was related to this drug, I would like to tell that you can have easily a new drug without shortening the time of the regulatory process by 505B2 pathway. You attach a linker and then you get, see, from 8 to 15 years, the period can be reduced to 2 to 5 years. That is what is the importance of the 505B2 pathway, wherein you can have a sort of a drug adding some linker. That is what is a novelty to me, that how fast you can bring the drugs. And that is what is everybody's job. I will not go into the example. These are all success stories, that the aripiprazole, or if you take, the market was very high, but by simple linker, the company could do well. Same thing, the schizophrenic drug, paliperidone. Yes. So that is also there, and by simple linker you add and you get a new drug. Approval is very fast and it can do that. Now during COVID 2020, the immediate approach was drug repurposing. We all know this process. I will not go into detail, but the drug repurposing became the strategy. If a drug like ashwagandha, okay, it was repurposed for COVID. I will say simply, there is a classical example. The drugs which were antiviral before for something, they were tried. And one of the two could success. The remdesivir is the classical example again. I will not go again there, but drug repurposing is a very fast route of bringing out new drug. See, everybody says that how can we bring easily drug? It is possible. We could do it within 6 months to bring a new drug. That's what I'm going to show in my couple of slides. So I will not go into the details of this drug repurposing, but as a pharmacy teacher, as a pharmaceutical chemist who are interested in new drug discovery, can take up this approach and get a new drug. That's what is required. And then, again, it is very easy to understand. I don't think I have to deliberate on that. But yes, drug repurposing is the example. And one of the outcomes from our lab was this chloroquine zinc, which has saved many patients. Sir, you told about the system flaws, but biggest system flaw is that they can approve the other drugs which are really not effective. But our own drug, it was effective. If you will see the clinical data, I will show some. Just because the zinc is showing some, instead of 78, according to literature, it should not be 81 or it cannot be 60. Just because of that, they have they are holding the license. They allowed other things which are not there at all in the list. But this was not allowed. We had the state license, we had proven theory, but it was not accepted. See, this is another irony of that you don't trust your own scientist, you trust others. This is what is the problem. It also happens anyway, but there were many success stories. Now, I will simply say that as a pharmacologist, I have been always a sort of a psychic person, because every time I try to learn something and something new has come. And it is, you can see what all revolutions has come in the drug discovery process. The failures which used to be because of the pharmacokinetics could be overcome by 2000, the turn of the century, but then efficacy problem came. And there, the whole process got changed. Now you have to have the target known before you start the drug discovery. This is a new strategy and it is there. I will not go again how several processes are involved. Everywhere you need biotechnology, that's it, for drug discovery. And biomarkers becomes important. What was the biomarker of COVID? It was N protein. No, it was angiotensin converting enzyme 2, which is creating every havoc. That's what I could understand. I can take full lecture, I can argue with any doctor, anybody, and I am having all the data now. Well, that was the approach. People feel that with Schrodinger, many things are coming, but are you really going in the right direction there? Just have a thinking. How efficiently you should utilize AI. That is what is important. And it is required. Now on one side I am talking this latest, other side is the old drug. I am still the herbal drug. Now my herbal approach was different. I feel that in herbal industry, there are 4 revolutions. Whether it is the source, Hanumanji brought the medicine, that was the source, that was one revolution. Afterwards, how the herbarium has come, how the microscopy, and then genome. Based on genome, you are differentiating the species. Then extraction processes, everything is changing. Can we not modernize these approaches of extraction? This is a big question which is lying. When it comes to separation, isolation, characterization, initially, even in 2000, when I used to talk to doctors, Ayurveda doctors, they say, oh, आप isolate करते हो तो आप हमारी जाति से बाहर हो, ऐसा बोलते थे. But it is a reality now. And then standardization you have to do. And very awakening talk given by Dr. Sanjay Singh ji that it is there. Anyway, all these things, what I am trying to say, things keep on changing. Dr. Ashok Vaidya and Bhushan Patwardhan gave theory of reverse pharmacology. Reverse pharmacology means you first do the direct study, then go for the mechanistic studies. But, and in that process, I got the success with what drug? That is the Anicostima, literally. It is being sold, it is being successful drug. Only thing I could not get that credit of manufacturing or giving the license. But first patent I had on that. So Anicostima literally was a clinical study done first. Based on clinical study, we predicted that what is the mechanism of action. I will not go into that study part, but what I will try to tell is that we could show with the help of the Zydus cadila in the Zucker-Fafa rats that this drug is having a specific target, that is the acetyl-CoA carboxylase. This is the reverse pharmacology. Anyway, lastly, I would like to give a success, and then with this we could, come out with such a figure that this Anicostia, literally, this herbal has got two components in it. One is anti-obesity, other is anti-diabetic. That also we could prove. And with the what all targets possibles. And unlike many pharmacologists who do 100 plants or 50 plants, in my life I have done only 10, 15, but this is the plant for last 20 years. I am still working on it and I am getting the results. And this is the theory we are taking. Cardioprotection is very well shown there. Now, last, I will end with that reverse engineering. Now, this somehow I heard this word reverse engineering. It was all engineering only. Reverse engineering means you meant, suppose I have got this bike, you dismantle everything and redesign it. That is the reverse engineering. It is a process by itself. And it is used for several things. And it was Indian Vishweshwaraji who did that. That was the reverse engineering. Now this reverse engineering, knowledge has to be utilized. How? So in reverse engineering, you have some observations, analysis, and then you design and go with the forward engineering and reverse engineering, you dismantle thing, redocument and redesign. That becomes the reverse engineering. Now in drug industry, how I feel, herbal drug, you have herbs. When you isolate its biomarkers, the phytoconstituent, they are your different constituent. Analyze them and accordingly you make the formulation. That is called, to me, a reverse engineering. This is the concept I am trying to give. That dismantling is there. So in the herbal, when the COVID time, we started with that ACE2. With the ACE2, I could prove that why ACE2 is only important. The whole history of renin-angiotensin system revealed why it is important. And based on that, the structure, all that, we proved that why it is important. We took that as a structure, and in that process, we using the about 4 lakh compound, 26 hits we could get, and based on that, we designed. Based on those targets of ACE2, its receptors, and ORF, the multiplication, we could design the drug. And this drug was finally tested, and this testing was with the molecular docking itself, the plants. You can see nowhere I found such a beautiful dose response curve as with our drug. That's what I wanted to show. It was on the in vitro study. It was not something that you have given to patient and somebody has shown whether it was a psychic or its own effect. No, it was not, no placebo effect. It could be done in the hamsters, it could be done in patients, and it was independent. It was done in Bangalore, not in our Delhi. Still we could find that, and as per the criteria of WHO, we could see the result. This type of separation, I was there in one of the committee, I have never found such a beautiful separation of the curve with the drug treatment, Kalpan-Merit curve, and I could find that, and finally the drug came up, but this was a sort of a reverse engineering process. I did not go in the isolation, but it could be done, and that's how the success is there. Well, what I have tried to give, as I told you, I am not here to give a subject lecture like that. You are all well read teachers, but try to have something different. Reverse engineering, reverse repurposing, reverse pharmacology, extension of QSAR and all that, retaining the basic, retaining the traditional knowledge, how you can bring out new drugs at the faster mode. I am thankful to all my collaborators, and thank you. I hope I have done my job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Hearty thanks for keeping the time in mind. You finished it in very much in time. And it was a very interesting talk, wonderful talk, full of information and easy to understand talk. And you very aptly mentioned 2020 and G20. Thank you for delivering this Dr. G. Bhagwant Memorial Lecture. It was a wonderful narration on drug repurposing and reverse engineering. You have given some very good examples also. Without taking much time, I will ask the audience. There is a time for 1-2 questions because we are running short of time. So,
thank you, Gul sir, for such an enlightening presentation. And I just wanted to add one thing, that we have done a couple of projects on reverse engineering. But the irony of the fact is that it's not patentable in India. The Indian patent law does not allow repurposed drugs to be patented. So if you want to file a PCT, first you have to file an Indian patent. Though it will not be granted, you have to file it, and after 6 months you have to go for a PCT. So that's something which has to be looked into. That there's a lot of success stories coming out in repurposing, but they're not patentable in India, in our country. So we need to suggest this to the Indian Patent Office, that at least they should make some amendments and they should allow repurposed drugs to be patented in India also. This is our experience.
Well, about the patent, I have my own view. In Ahmedabad only, I was attending the seminar, and it was all by various top industrialists. They were saying, beyond patent, there are many things. If you are original, patent is useless. If you see tax law, they don't keep any patent. It is kept open. My son says that patent is something like a license to reveal your own secrets in public. That is the patent. The moment you publish patent, whole world is alert, let me tell you, and they will crash your patent like anything. They will infringe anything. So don't think only patent. My problem was with that licensing permission. Just because of one episode of Ramdev, they halted my permission. That was the ring, and it really created problem. I could not use it properly. That's why actually I was talking that, not the PCT. I don't believe in. I have in my life after getting this, I have stopped really filing too much patent. It is like increasing your own CV only, to me. Anyway, sorry about it.
One more question, please. One more question. So I think audience is very much satisfied. And thank you very much, sir. Before I conclude, I will request my chairman to conclude it.
Yeah, okay, sir. Yes.
Sir, thank you very much for such an informative lecture, especially on re-engineering, reverse engineering, and repurposing drugs, right? And you have very well correlated with the QSAR. Everything was I think it is well taken by the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The words we have heard today have not only enriched our understanding, but has also paid a touching tribute.
I would like to request our session chair, Professor Dr. Sanjay Jain sir, and session co-chair, Professor Dr. Ranjit Singh sir, to present token of gratitude to our visionary speaker, Professor Dr. Ramesh K. Goel sir. Let's give a huge round of applause.
I would like to request Dr. Manju Pandey ma'am to present token of gratitude to our session chair, Professor Dr. Sanjay Jain sir. I would like to request Dr. Manju Pandey ma'am to present token of gratitude to our session chair, Professor Dr. Sanjay Jain sir.
Dr. Manju Rawat Singh, please.
Ma'am, please join us on the stage. Dr. Manju Rawat ma'am, please join us on the stage. Let's give a huge round of applause for sir. Let's keep the applause going. I would like to request Dr. Vikas Sharma sir to present token of gratitude to our session co-chair, Professor Dr. Ranjit Singh sir. Dr.
Vikas Sharma is here. Dr. Vikas Sharma. I request Dr. Dhirendra Kaushik to please come on the stage and present a memento to Dr. Ranjit Singh,
Sir, please join us on the stage. Let's give a huge round of applause. It's my privilege to extend our sincere thanks to all our delegates for this thought-provoking lecture. I request the hospitality team to kindly escort our esteemed dignitaries to their respective seats. The hospitality team. Before we end this session, there is an announcement. The 54th IPC Trust sponsored lecture is running parallelly at ground floor at PSIT Tower. I request Dr. Prafulti Bharadia sir to please reach PSIT Town Hall. So PSIT Town Hall, hospitality team, please escort sir to the PSIT Town Hall. And the workshop on pharmacology software is running at Seminar Hall 1 in AA block. The hospitality team, please escort Professor Dr. Dharmendra K. Ahuja, sir. The session might have ended, but the spark and inspiration it ignited within us continues to burn.
Next speaker.
Now we will start with the next memorial lecture, that is M.L. Shroff Memorial Lecture. I request Speaker Dr. Mahesh Burande sir to please come on the dais. Chairman of the session, Professor Dr. Rajendra B. Kakade sir, and co-chair of the session, Professor Dr. Alok Mukherjee sir.
I request our session co-chair, I request Professor Dr. Alok Mukherjee sir to present bouquet to Dr. Mahesh Burande sir. Dr. Alok Mukherjee sir, please join us on the stage. Yes, sir. Let's give a huge round of applause. I request Dr. Vishal Garg sir to present bouquet to Professor Dr. Rajendra P. Kakade sir. Let's welcome sir with a huge round of applause. I request Dr. Bimlesh Kumar to present bouquet to Professor Dr. Alok Mukherjee sir. Let's welcome them with a huge round of applause. So please join us on the stage. I request session chair to kindly introduce our session speaker.
डायरेक्ट बटन उसमें ही रहने दो.
Good afternoon to everyone. Before starting this session, I will introduce today's speaker, Dr. Mahesh Burande sir. Mahesh Burande sir has over 40 years of extensive experience in the pharmacy profession with roles as a pharma consultant, trainer and academician dedicated to advancing the field. He has been a consultant and trainer for over 100 pharmaceuticals companies both in India and internationally, specializing in marketing, GMP, CGP, GPP, GLP and fostering a positive attitude among professionals. Collaborating with industry leaders like Serum, Sun, Glaxo and many more. His contribution extends to developing innovative display for GMP, quality, productivity, safety and positive attitude, crucial for certifications like WHO, GMP, PICS, MHRA, MCC, TGA and US FDA. As a honorary director of the Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, IPER, he has led the institute in offering 26 job-oriented pharmaceutical management diplomas, highly regarded by the pharmaceutical industry. Recognized for his contribution impact on the pharmacy profession, he has received numerous awards, including the Best Young Pharmacy Teacher Award, the Indian Pharmaceutical Association Fellowship Award, and the Lifetime Achievement Award. Dr. Burande was also honored as the President of the 69th Indian Pharmaceutical Congress in 2017 and received the Performer Award for Pharma Skill Development in India at the 72 Indian Pharmaceutical Congress in 2023. This is the just introduction, but his figure is more bigger than that one. So I request Burande sir to start his session. Thank you.
होता है ना डायरेक्ट ये नहीं आएगा फिर वीडियोस. अच्छा वीडियो अटैच है इसलिए मैं बोला ना आपको. क्या कर रहे हो आप? It's not coming. अनफ्रीज करो. Thanks Chairman, Co-Chairman. Thanks APTICON, PSIT for providing this platform to share my experience on entrepreneurship. NEP 2020 emphasized that we should promote entrepreneurship in our students. And right from the morning, we have seen the way Indian pharma entrepreneurs are contributing. And it becomes our responsibility as a teacher to inspire the students to become entrepreneurs. And knowing that entrepreneurship, there are 15 entrepreneurship opportunities for any pharmacy student right from starting the drugstore, maybe leading towards starting a R&D center, contract research organization, a manufacturing unit, and even developing a software and giving the best healthcare services. So what is this entrepreneurship? I wanted to take actually journey for 20 minutes on this platform. आगे जाना चाहिए ना नीचे This is the remembrance of a great actually teacher who founded long back our APTICON, or Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India. And with that today's actually crowd, what we are witnessing, that in 1966, whatever he has implemented, along with G.P. Srivastava, today we are actually developing on that line and making the pharmacy profession ahead in the world. As we say, we are number 3 in the world. But can we make it to number 2? Can we take it to number 1? And I think APTICON, an Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India, should take this mission to develop the entrepreneurs so that we can reach to the 2nd position and the 3rd position. And that will be, I think, the best respect which we can give to Professor Mahadev Lal Shroff. Entrepreneur, that is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur means it's within your heart, within your mind, inside your mind, that I want to become an entrepreneur. When I was a teacher conducting the Viva, many times the student expressed that, sir, I wanted to become a businessman. I wanted to start my own pharmaceutical industry. But are we giving them the guidance? Are we actually inspiring them and showing the road of entrepreneurship? Many times it is not. And after taking the experience, then they actually start their entrepreneurship, and the valuable time of generating the entrepreneurs which we actually lose. And that's why if we start right from the beginning, maybe from 2nd year B.Pharm itself, identifying the strength and the desire of a student, lot of things which we can do. Whether it is a new product, whether it is a new service today, including the IT services, maybe the more feature of a same product, or maybe an additional feature of a same product, that can be the innovation again. Reducing the cost, India is leading at present in generic. And if you reduce the cost, maintaining the quality, we can lead the brand in the world. Friendly technology and compliance, because the customer compliance is important. In that area, again, the entrepreneurship can be thought. And again, delivering the quality and economy at every stage, in every process, I think will contribute for the entrepreneurship. And as a teacher, we should inspire students to think on this aspect. Although we are conducting the regular lectures and practicals as per the PCI syllabus, but beyond that, can we think on this line? As Dr. Saranjit Singh has told us that what's happening at present in the world, if you bring that topic and discuss that topic, I think many entrepreneurship can be developed on that line. To make yourself as an entrepreneur, all resources are useful, and these are the M's which we called in the management. But the most important resource is the main, that means the people, that means the student. And I think the human resource is the most important in any entrepreneurship, because you may have the good machine, you may have the good material, but unless and until my mind is there to follow the system to make the quality product every time, which will not happen. So developing that ethics, developing that attitude with the human mind is important. The systems are there, whether we talk about the WHO or US FDA, everything is written, everything is available. but developing actually that mind to follow the ethics, to follow the system every time, each time, whatever I do the work, so that unit to unit dosage, I can deliver the quality will be the important aspect in the management. The whole contribution from all of us as a pharmacist to make the world happy and healthy. And it is possible only when you will come out with the entrepreneurship, with contribution on many aspects. Why the entrepreneurship is required? Take the average age of India, touching to 70 almost. It may go to 75 or 80. Because of the new drugs are coming, they are contributing. New healthcare services are coming. Diagnostic agents are coming. So many things are happening. But the advantage with the pharmaceutical industry in that case, that whenever the age is shifting from 71 years, maybe to the 80 years, I think everybody requires the drug. In every house, every family, you will see that somebody is taking the drug, somebody is consuming the actual medicine. That means the requirement is very huge. In the morning itself, Dr. Pandey talked on the requirements of the drugs and the medicines in India and even abroad when we are going to export. And that suggests that I think the responsibility on our shoulder, that if you promote the entrepreneurship, a lot of things can happen. He already told that Indian pharmaceutical industries and entrepreneurs are already contributing in big way. When I completed my B.Pharm in 1980, all multinationals were there, leading pharmaceutical companies. But today, if you take the picture of 25 companies, out of 25, almost I think 23 are the Indian entrepreneurs leading in a big way. And the biggest giant is the Sun Pharma, Mr. Dilip Sanghvi, a commerce graduate who started a pharmaceutical company long back, taking the idea in Calcutta and today leading as the 5th largest pharmaceutical company of the world. So entrepreneurship, when we say, I think these are the examples which will inspire the students to come to the entrepreneurship side. When we talk about the entrepreneurship, I think which are the drugs required, our students should know, so that the R&D focus should be in such therapeutic areas. Whether it is a cardiac drug, today it is leading in a big way. After Corona, you know very well that many people suffer from the cardiac problem, and the cardiac segment is leading in a big way, followed by anti-infective, which was there right from 1990. Gastrointestinal problems, especially in India, is increasing day by day. Anti-diabetic, people say that India will be the diabetic capital of the world, and the requirement is huge. Most of our research today, we are concentrating on developing the diabetic therapies or maybe the diabetic drug. And even in Corona, it has been proven that vitamin, minerals, and nutrition drugs, nutraceuticals are contributing in a big way. These are the areas, as far as the research is considered, where again, the entrepreneurs can be developed on that line. We are touching 3 lakhs crores of domestic consumption, which will lead to the 6 lakhs crore and even export to 15 lakhs crores. And that will be the biggest contribution which the entrepreneurs can do. But 7 skills which we emphasize if you really wanted to become the entrepreneur. And one, the most important, is the attitude, innovation and creativity in every aspect, in designing your product, positioning in your product, utilizing the resources, as I said, technical knowledge, skill, hard work, and what you can contribute to the society will be the keys to success for any entrepreneur. The biggest entrepreneur, according to me, the example is Thomas Edison. Almost 3,200 patents, but all patents are effective patents. As Dr. Goyal said, I'm not bothered for the theoretical patents now. I want the practical patent. This man is actually given the practical patent, that means application to the society. Today, whatever the technology we are utilizing, I think it is because of the Thomas Edison. The attitude which this man is having is really inspiring. One day, his factory at the age of 62 was on the fire. He called all his relatives, all his colleagues in R&D department, and he said, enjoy that fire, because the attitude, he said, that all my mistakes are burned today, and tomorrow I will have the new idea to take actually the new product and the new service. The attitude of an entrepreneur is never, never, never give up. Again, actually, you can come back and contribute in a big way. So that's the attitude of Thomas Edison that we should talk. Beautiful picture. Everywhere we are seeing this. Rules are different, whether the people are following the rules or not, right? But one man thought in a different way, and it was the Tata. And the Tata thought that this poor family cannot afford the four-wheeler. So can I give them the product which they can actually afford? It should be economic, and that will be actually the convenient to you. And then he has given this mission to his R&D manager, Mr. Wagh, that within 3 years, I am giving you 500 crore. I want the car of 1 lakh rupees into the market, and that was the introduction of the car known as nano car. No doubt, it was the segment which Tata never tried, but they came out with the car, and today if you see the technology which they are bringing, the Tatas are competing with many actually automobiles companies as well as the car companies in the world and giving the best car. But the start was nano. And when we talk about the nano, I think in the pharma, a lot of things are there in the nano which we can think as an innovator or maybe bringing new products with the nanotechnology, reducing the particle size and giving the best compliance actually to the customer. Many areas are there. This is one of the product which is doing good job, especially vitamin D, and that is the Pulse Pharma in actually Andhra Pradesh. They making it, it's a leading brand. So when we talk about the nano, even nano is applicable, and that is the innovation what we can think from the entrepreneurship. Another example which I wanted to put, Dr. Reddy's. He was the chemist in IDPL, and he was inspired to start his business. He was very good in the medicinal chemistry, and he started initially with a loan of 1 crore, started the company, but somehow he could not manage the impurity, whatever he has produced, and the company was closed down. That means it was a bankruptcy, but he has not given up. He again thought that can I come up with the new molecule cotrimoxazole, that is trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole, having the best quality with less impurity and which will be accepted by IP also and USP also, and he brought that, and ultimately that unit became the export-oriented unit totally. And even he sold cotrimoxazole with the original patent leader, Burroughs Wellcome, and the Reddy's company started in the big way. Today, Anji Reddy is no more, but what contribution Anji Reddy has made. Never, never give up. Think of new technology always and bring and give the new things to the world. That is the contributor. Another example from Ahmedabad, many of us may be knowing this person, Mr. Paras Patel. I think many brands which he has created, his business was doing extremely good job, but one day he decided that all these brands, leading brand, whether it is a Ring Guard, whether it is a Move, he sold it for 85 crores long back, and he must have been the very happy person that day, that 85 crores I got, I should enjoy the life. But no, he thought in a different way as an entrepreneur, and he actually came out with a different brand altogether into the market and introduced that brand into the market, and that is actually the Fog. And with a concept, a very innovative concept, that is Bina Gas Wala. Only one tagline, that is Bina Gas Wala, made this product. Whatever the content which is given in the product, whatever the resin, whatever the polymer which he brought, I think the concept was Bina Gas Wala, and that is hitting the market. And today it is almost touching to the turnover of 1500 crore to 2000 crore. One product actually is touching to that level. So it's a innovative idea, what you are thinking to give and deliver to the people. I think the ads are very famous in the market. Everybody knows this ad. A beautiful slogan. Again, it is entrepreneurship today.
Hey. और guys, क्या चल रहा है?
अंकल फॉग चल रहा है.
Writing.
सोचिए मत, क्योंकि बिना गैस वाला फॉग ही है इंडिया का नंबर 1 परफ्यूम.
बिना गैस वाला क्या चल रहा है? फॉग चल रहा है. What a beautiful slogan. What a beautiful catch line. And I think this is also the innovation, and the people who can actually give such innovation to the companies, I think they are also the entrepreneurs according to me. They are the product managers, they are the marketing managers, they are the copywriters, and I think this is the area where the pharmacy people, rather than making various reels, if you think on this line and bring the beautiful ring with the product, I think a reel on the product, I think many companies will come to you and you will become the entrepreneur on that line. Another best example of entrepreneurship in front of me when I was doing my M.Pharm at LM College of Pharmacy is Ramanbhai Patel. He started with a single compression machine, producing the paracetamol tablet, selling on the bicycle that time along with Indubai Modi. And today, I think the company is in the first 10 companies. That means the hard work, which is the important component of innovator. And whatever the resources that time available, they made this entrepreneurship. And Zydus Cadila is leading actually in the pharmaceuticals. Another person, Mr. Juneja, was a medical representative. 10 years he worked in the cell, and in 91-92 he decided that I should have my own pharmaceutical company, and the objective is quality and economy of the drug. Whatever we sell in the market, it should be having the quality as well as the economy. And today, it's not only the economy or the affordable part which he played the important actually positioning for his product. Availability also is important. 12,000 marketing actually force which mankind is working at present and contributing. Lot of job opportunities for our student, but he himself actually contributed through the cells, and now it is in the first 5 companies. And talking about another person, Mr. Dilip Sanghvi, as I said, the beautiful entrepreneurship example which I wanted to give you, that one day Mr. Dilip Sanghvi, after taking experience from his father's shop, working in the wholesale in Calcutta, decided that I should start the own pharmaceutical company. Father said, you are a commerce graduate, you are not science, you are not from pharmacy, how you can do it? He said, I have that confidence. I learned in your wholesale shop everything about the medicine, and actually I have the desire to start a pharmaceutical company. Taking 10,000 rupees, he actually started a pharmaceutical company. He himself became a medical representative along with his friend and started meeting the doctor, bringing the product known as Lidosun, lithium carbonate, which is the antipsychotic drug. Meeting all the psychologists in Calcutta, and the leading actually consultant was Mr. Banerjee. He actually has visited Mr. Banerjee, the leading consultant, several times, almost 6 months, but Banerjee has not written actually that product. He said, can you give me the guarantee about that product? Because the toxicity I wanted to know. And after 6 months, Dilip Sanghvi said, sir, why you are not prescribing my product? He said, talk about the toxicity and how I can reduce that toxicity. Is there any method if I give the actually medicine to the patient which we can control the toxicity or know the toxicity so that I can increase the dose or decrease the dose? And that is we called as therapeutic drug monitoring. Dilip Sanghvi immediately answered because he was prepared for that answer. He said, in Saxena lab, I have made actually arrangement, refractometer is there, and if you give the blood sample, I can test that with a nominal cost of 20 rupees. Although Saxena lab start with 40 rupees, 20 rupees, Sun Pharma will put for your patient and the analysis can be done. And he has done it successfully. Dr. Banerjee started actually prescribing the Lidosun, and Banerjee said to Mr. Dilip Bhai that Dilip Bhai, one day you will lead the world in the pharmaceuticals. Friends, Ranbaxy he purchased, you know the lacunas what he told, and the Sun Pharma became a #1 pharmaceutical company of India. But many of my students are working with Sun Pharma, and they say the knowledge of Mr. Dilip Sanghvi, whether it is a pharmacology, whether it is a pharmacokinetics, whether it is today artificial intelligence, he is a vast reader and he analyzes everything and put it into the practice. Even medicinal chemistry, actually, he started taking the classes in Mumbai from one of the chemistry teacher, although he was a BCom when he started his own pharmaceutical company. So learning is a continuous actually process, and Dilip Sanghvi is the best example in that case in front of us. I think you should read that book, A Reluctant Billionaire, and you will come to know every student, in fact, every pharmacy student, as a teacher, we should inspire him to read this book, how he became the #1 pharmaceutical company, Sun Pharma became the #1 pharmaceutical company of India. Whether it is a turnover of 38,000 crore or whether it is an export of leading to 10,000 crore is not that much important. What is important according to me or according to all of us for India, that how many people he has employed. 37,000 people he has employed, my friends, and I think that is the biggest contribution which he has given to our country. So if you produce one entrepreneur, at least 1 or 2 people they will employ, and that will be the biggest contribution to our country which is required, because our population is touching to 142 crore. And that's why Dilip Sanghvi is leading on that line. Give me 2 minutes, sir. As a teacher, I have become the entrepreneur. But who contributed for me to become the entrepreneur, I think these are the two peoples. One of them is sitting in front of me at present. He has delivered the lecture before me, Dr. Ramesh Goyal. All innovative ideas, all hard work, all inspiration, whatever he has given to me, whenever I started to think of entrepreneurship, he has motivated me. And another person is Dr. Shivaji Rao Kadam. He also received this award today, that is Kamalaben Wabia Award, because I was working with him for 20 years at Bharati Vidyapit, Pune College of Pharmacy. And whatever the idea which I have actually put in front of me, he said, go ahead and do it and move it. But Dr. Goyal is there in front of me, and today I would love to dedicate this Shroff Memorial Award, the opportunity which profession has given to me, to Dr. Shivaji Rao Kadam and Dr. Ramesh Goyal. Because of them, I became the entrepreneur. And this letter in 1982, Dr. Ramesh Goyal has actually given to me after completing my M.Pharm. And in that letter, he said, actually, शुक्रिया आपका, आपने अपना मार्गदर्शक माना, वरना हम तो इसके काबिल न थे. करने वाला पुजारी नहीं, ईश्वर होता है. सफलता पुजारी से नहीं, ईश्वर से मिलती है. पुजारी तो सिर्फ माध्यम होता है. आपकी सफलता और आपकी मेहनत है, क्योंकि कर्मण्ये वाधिका रस्ते मां फलेषु कदाचनम. हमारी तो सिर्फ यही कामना है, कर खुदी को तो इतना बुलंद कि खुदा खुद आकर अपने बंदे से पूछे, बता तेरी रजा क्या है. Sir, this was the letter of 1982 which you have written, और बंदा आपके सामने खड़ा है sir, and whether I have done something for the profession which you can only judge and give me some marks. And Dr. Shivaji Rao Kadam always said me, do it, move it, make it happen. No one ever sat their way to the success. That was the inspiration, and that's the dedication which I wanted to give it to you. Sir, and all teachers, we are talking about the COVID, but the biggest achievement as an entrepreneur for me, with pharmaceutical management programs, certificate program, one-day training program which we are running. During COVID-19, when many employees were taken to Serum Institute of India approached to our institute, IPR, and they said, in production management and quality control management, we are collaborating with you, and you are going to actually develop their skill, GMP aspect and attitude aspect to go for the best product which we are delivering at present right from 2020. And that is the small contribution as a teacher, as an entrepreneur, I have done with Serum Institute of India, which is a continuous actually process which is happening. So many things are there, but since the time is less, I'm stopping it here. There are many students which I have developed, and actually many of them are the entrepreneurs. They are contributing in big way today to the pharmaceutical industries. This man is coming out with a 40 medical store, and his plan is to go for 100 and maybe the 2,000 medical stores in India in the future. All inspiration through the entrepreneurship in that case, which is going to happen. And my request to all the teachers, this is the last slide, I will stop here. If you really wanted to develop the entrepreneurship in the teachers, I think we should have the entrepreneurship cell, do the SWOT analysis of student, go for the counseling, entrepreneurs lectures, series and workshop every 2 months or 3 months you should organize, call them, providing related experience, project report, funding guidance we should provide, because many times the funds are available, startups are there, many people want the good ideas, they will come up and starting the entrepreneurship, reviewing, giving the guidance and support. And I think giving entrepreneurship award every year through your college, those who become the entrepreneur can be the roadmap for you in the future to create the entrepreneurs of India, maybe in the pharma. And this man said, a big contribution. We are talking about the T. T is required now after my lecture, but that T technology is very simple according to me. Think big, that is the T. Go for excellence, whatever you wanted to do, and have the positive attitude. And he said, if you accept small challenges, you bring victory. If you accept bigger challenges, you will create history. जियो इतना कि जिंदगी कम पड़ जाए, हंसो इतना कि रोना मुश्किल हो जाए. किसी चीज को पाना तो किस्मत की बात है, मगर कोशिश इतनी करो कि ईश्वर देने को मजबूर हो जाए. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. खुदी को कर इतना बुलंद करो, खुदा बंदे से पूछेगी बता तेरी रजा क्या है. So this is the real meaning of the entrepreneurships, and our government in the last slide emphasis on the Atmanirbhar Bharat. which is given in the whole his lectures. This is the Atmanirbhar Bharat when we are doing for this entrepreneurship, and we also promote for the entrepreneurships, and the example which is given by the Burande sir is a fantastic and is a really a motivator for everyone. So for the students, take a great idea from him. He's a very innovator in the marketing field also. So I learned so many things from him also. One thing I want to share here. So we have the relations, both सालों से relations. The first time when we met, बुरांडे सर और जब हम पहली बार मिले तो उन्होंने एक जब कार्ड विजिटिंग कार्ड दिया था मुझे, आज भी मेरे पास संभाल के वो कार्ड्स. It is, sir, is the first wanted to ask the questions, and sir, that your tagline is today's tagline.
I have no question, but I am so much humbled by him. तो मैं एक लाइन ही और बोलूँगा. मुझे याद नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ लेटर भी इनको दिया है मैंने. जब जब हम अपनी मंजिल तक पहुँचे, जब हम अपनी मंजिल तक पहुँचे, इस असमंजस में रहे कि हम खुद आए या हमें खुदा लाया. लेकिन आज अब मुझे और फील हो रहा है, जब हम अपनी मंजिल तक पहुँचे, हम इस असमंजस में रहे कि हम खुद आए या हमें महेश ब्रांडे जैसे लोग यहाँ लाए. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Sir, thank you. From the young chap, come on.
So I just wanted a point of view from your side, sir, on current scenario, which we have recently witnessed that in the previous lectures we saw that the Indian companies are being issued a number of letters and warning letters. I have also worked in Torrent Pharma for 8 years. So I have also seen Zydus Cadila and all and Lupin, they are being issued. Very frequently it is being done. So since this is the issue which is being observed in abroad countries, so have we ever assessed the scenario, current scenario in Indian purview or in context? What is the condition of salts and the medicines that we are taking? So what is their level of standard? So should we have a very stringent action in our country also regarding this? So I just wanted your point of view.
सर प्लीज पहले लेक्चर के बाद शायद आप नहीं थे लगता. रंजीत सिंह जी ने जो लेक्चर दिया था उसमें यही बातें सब कही थी. सर also will emphasize on that.
Basically, the most important aspect here, as he said, to recall the product if the toxicity happened. We don't have the system because through prescription the drugs are not given many times. So as a pharmacist, I am running the drugstore. As a consumer, if I am purchasing the medicine, I should take the prescription. I should go to the doctor. I should tell to my family that we should go to the doctor. I should not give the medicine as a pharmacist, although I know pharmacology or medicinal chemistry. It is my responsibility as a pharmacist to give the respect to the doctor because he is good in the diagnosis. That is number one. And when such toxicities happened, actually pharmacovigilance, which is a big subject, I think that is coming up even in India. WHO is emphasizing every pharmaceutical company to have the pharmacovigilance department, that whatever you are selling, whatever the product complaints we are receiving, I think we should analyze that. And if it is found that the toxicities are more rather than the therapeutic benefits, I think the DCGI will take the action to ban the drug. But that collection of the data, we should actually collect that. As a pharmacist in the medical store, I should tell all my customers that if you are not getting the result, if you are getting the bad result, if you are getting the toxicity, come to me. I will write on my notebook, and maybe I think with this collection, every chemist, there are 8 lakhs to 10 lakhs chemists in India. If they promote that actually data to the DCGI, but actually some actions will be taken, and then the research will be on that line, that how you can reduce the impurities. How you can reduce the impurities. That will be the answer at present. But whatever my job, I should do the best. As a teacher, whether it is a 45 minutes lecture, I should inspire the student to attend the lecture. I should involve him. I should participate him. I should show him some video. I should tell him yesterday what happened in the world as far as the regulatory aspect is considered. Involve him. That is my job as a teacher. And that is the experiential learning we are talking about. That is actually the way which we can inspire the student to come to pharmacy and take the pharmacy ahead. That is the answer according to me.
Sir, जैसे कि आपने इंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में बोला अभी और सारी चीज़ें हमने क्लियर भी किया था, आत्मनिर्भर भारत हमको बनना है तो इसी तरह से जाना पड़ेगा। गवर्नमेंट हैविंग सो मेनी, और संजीत सिंह जी ने भी जब भी बोला था कि इम्प्योरिटी प्रोफाइलिंग सारी चीज़ें भी इस पे मायने रखती है, तो उनका भी एक क्वेश्चन है तो हम उस पर भी जवाब देंगे।
So the question basically is, what is the quality of products sold in India? To me, I have a huge conviction. This I said in Bhopal a week ago in the training of drug control officers of Madhya Pradesh, where assistant drug controller and everybody was, I was invited to speak over there. No pharma company should be allowed to be established in India with a budget less than 100 CR. It's a minimum required to comply with the pharmacopoeia standards. So this is going to change the scenario, otherwise we can go with what we don't know the quality of drugs. As a patient, when you go to a market and to the chemist shop, you never know what is the strength of it, whether the drug is existing or not. It's all in label. Yes, as a pharmaceutical analyst, I will provide the tool if I am surviving, or the world will provide you the tool to analyze the drug without opening in the blister or the strip. And you can verify the potency of the drug inside without opening the blister and strip. There is already a mobile which is having a, what I will say, spectrophotometer developed in China, which can do this job. So we have to give the power to the consumer. That technological development and innovation which government is saying, that is an added thing to Atmanirbhar. Thank you.
So this is the last question.
Just take a moment.
Yeah.
So after the success of Chandrayaan, we have been, the entire world is saying that very frugal approach of the country of India has been appreciated. But somehow, in the pharma sector, we have never emphasized on the economic or frugal aspect. We never try. We just aim at, just like you said, 100 CR is the minimum amount at which, a pharma industry should be started. So we've seen a success with a very frugal approach. So why not such kind of approach is accepted or encouraged in pharma industry also? That's it.
ओके, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। जब हम लोग कहते हैं कि वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, तो someone who has the play the role of the caretaker of the world. So India is the pharmacy of the world who takes the care of whole world. So we always feel in Hinduism, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So on these notes, I conclude this. I also invite my co-chairman to speak few words on this question.
Thank you, Dr. Varande. It's a nice lecture, and it's really impressive for today's lecture, because I heard you since last 40 years about this IPER, and especially it's a very important part. Whatever the skill and whatever the knowledge we have, unless until we have a confidence or attitude, we cannot produce our product. And that is required nowadays. For marketing, we need a good attitude, and that's Dr. Burande has very nicely presented. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your kind answer.
Thank you, sir. May I request Dr. Rajendra Kakde to felicitate the speaker of the session, Dr. Mahesh Burande, please. May I request Dr. Sunil Prajapati from Bundelkhand University to be on the stage to felicitate the chairman of the session, Dr. Rajendra B. Kakde. Professor Sunil Prajapati. Thank you, Dr. Prajapati. May I request Dr. Vikram Sahu to come on the stage and felicitate the co-chairman of the session, Dr. Alok Mukherjee.
उसको बोला था मैंने निकाल दो करके कॉपीराइट है सर
इसको निकाल
Today we gather here to pay tribute to the remarkable journey of Dr. G.P. Srivastav sir's life, to remember his passion, wisdom and contributions. We also honor the lasting impact he has had on each one of us. It's an honor to introduce our distinguished session speaker, Professor Dr. Vaishali Taude, ma'am, Managing Director at Ideal Cures. Thank you, ma'am, for your gracious presence. It's a privilege to introduce our session chair, Professor Dr. Monica Gulati, ma'am, Dean at Lovely Professional University, Jalandhar. Please welcome ma'am with a huge round of applause. We are pleased to introduce our session co-chair, Dr. Indra Parab, ma'am, Technical Head at Ideal Cures, Maharashtra. Please welcome ma'am with a huge round of applause.
Let's give a huge round of applause for our dignitaries as they acquire the seats on the dais.
Now I request the session co-chair, Dr. Indra Parab, ma'am, to introduce our speaker, Dr. Vaishali Taude, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Vaishali Taude, most renowned name in pharma industry for her business ethics. She has a rich and diverse experience in the pharmaceutical excipient industry, delivering business value in high growth environments through a leadership position. Dr. Vaishali Taude gained her PhD in pharmaceutics at the SNDT University of Mumbai, followed by 25 years of business and leadership experience within the pharmaceutical and nutraceutical markets across Asia and the Indian subcontinents. She is highly accomplished, results-driven techno-commercial expert in sales marketing, new business development, product launches, channel management, direct customer management, and technical sales leadership experience. She is experienced of handling team integration during merger and acquisitions, along with expertise in analyzing market trends of pharma and ingredients industries for binders, coatings, and solubilizers that help to define and deploy marketing strategies and increase profitability with key accounts. I welcome Dr. Vaishali to talk on a very, very rational topic that is completely an eye-opener for teachers, students. Okay, so now she will completely change over the thought area, thoughts of the complete thesis topic to be changed. Now we are completely emphasizing on API, but now she will throw light that how these excipients are so much importance, okay, for any formulation development. So I welcome Dr. Vaishali to speak on her topic. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I know it's a tiring day. Maybe my lecture is the last lecture. I will wrap up fast. There are a lot of eminent speakers here, eminent professors. I take a privilege of introducing a topic which is known to all of us, but there is no awareness about what is it other than the drug. We talk about medicine, and we then only land up in talking about the drugs, okay? Is it drug, does everything in the medicine? Or is it something else is also there along with the drug? So this is what I will try to cover today. And why I'm talking about this is because being a pharmacist, I started my career in research and development. I worked in companies like Novartis. I worked with companies like Novartis, Merck Shop Dome, and the last company was an Indian company, IPCA Labs. In my last company, IPCA Labs, I wrote several patents, and as someone was saying here, some time back, I wrote patents which were practical. And those were the days when there was a fixed dose combination was just coming up into the market. And these fixed dose combinations were anti-diabetic, cardiac, and these I have seen get launched also into the market. So I'm very proud about whatever I have done into that journey. But when I was working in the research, I understood that my experience is not really getting beyond the dosage form. I'm not the decision maker. I can't change things. Maybe I have to work on the marketing plan of a pharma company. And how can I still further learn? Because I have not learned my PhD only to, maybe that was my thought process, only to look into the one part of the entire pharma value chain. And I got an opportunity to work with world's biggest chemical company, that is BASF. I don't know how many of you know. And I was very confused. Why are they hiring pharmacists? Why do they need pharmacists? For a big company, chemical company like BASF. I went through the interviews and I learned that they have raw material to sell to the pharmaceutical companies. And they need someone who understands the dosage form, how to use these raw materials into the finished products. And that is where I learned that, how much I really know about the other excipients which are going into the tablet or any dosage form. Did I really learn just as a binder, diluents, and glidants? Or I really learn about the chemistry of that? Do I look at it really as an inert material and everything is being given by the drug? And this is what I'm trying to cover today, because I started my journey in chemical industry in 2005. And after that, for last around 18, 19 years, I'm only working with chemical industry. And the chemical industry also have and also need pharmacists like us. And do we consider that as a willingful option? Okay? Or are we giving that space to any other science graduate? As a pharmacist, we can do much better job there, and they really need someone who can guide them what new product the next chemical company should launch as an excipient into the market. I worked with company BASF, and I was a part of their novel excipient process. And you know how much they spend in order to bring one novel excipient into the market? So this novel excipient was launched in 2012, And company like BASF has spent $1 billion. That is a kind of a research they do because they have to do the complete toxicity study. They struggle to launch new excipient into the market, and that is a need of most of the pharma companies. But pharma companies do not collaborate. They only feel that excipient companies are just suppliers. And even today, when we are taking education or when we are giving education to our students, we also do not really think beyond drugs. So I'm just trying to cover in my today's lecture those details. So I call them, the excipients, as the invisible facilitators. And they play a pivotal role in every space of pharma. So before we start, I just want to bring some awareness. Do we know what excipients are? Inert, right? Inert medicaments. And we will, inactive medicaments, as per FDA, correct. So we will see how inactive and inert they are later on. Where do they come from? Do we know 5 chemical companies' names from where the excipients are coming? We might be knowing because some of them are sending us free samples. But beyond that, do we know them like Dr. Reddy's? Or do we know them like Pfizer, GSK? No, we don't know them because they are very alien to us. They are, and it is very difficult as a pharmacist to go and sit into a chemical company and then go and visit our faculties and sell raw material to them. They always look down upon you. But in the process, I have learned so much of chemistry. In the process, I learned what excipient can do for the pharma companies. So, how excipients contribute to pharma professionals, we can see that. And when we are talking India as a global pharmacy, does excipient has a role to play? We have seen several examples right now of the adulteration. From where the adulterations are coming? Most of these pharma companies today are using good drugs, but what they don't use, appropriate excipients. They do the shortcuttings in using the excipients because they simply do not understand the excipient. They feel that the excipients are the cheapest part and they have to be brought cheaply. And most of the cases which we have seen in the cough syrup, they have been toxic because the propylene glycol which was being used in the cough syrup, which is an excipient, was toxic. So from where these excipients are coming, I think we need to learn that. And the last question here is, can pharmacists play a major role with these chemical companies? And can we consider that, or can your student consider that as an option for their career? So I will cover these topics. So we'll come to the definition. So as per the definition of excipient as per the Lube lecture in 1991, he first time defined the excipient. All other components of a drug formulation other than active drug is an excipient. And then, as someone has said, previous speakers have said earlier, that what does Americans have done, or what does US has done? The US has brought a lot of systems because medicines are otherwise toxic. They are toxins. If you do not take in an appropriate dosage form, it is no longer medicine, right? Then it's a poison. And therefore, it is important to have a lot of systems when you're talking about the medicine. And they have done, and they have defined in the USP the definition of excipient, which is excipients are a substance other than API that are intentionally included in the formulation. So they have role to play, okay? So now I'm coming to the next important topic. What are excipients? So the excipients can be inorganic salts. They can be carbohydrates. So carbohydrates means maize starch, corn starch. These are the excipients. So they come from the carbohydrates. They can be synthetic materials like polymers, polyvinyl pyrrolidone, okay, which is a single two monomers, they bring it together and make the polymers. Okay, so it's a polymer or a semi-synthetic material. Semi-synthetic material is like HPMC. So it is a natural source, and then it is converted into the polymerization. So these are the various ways by which the excipients are coming. And some of them are also natural products. So guar gum is a natural product which comes from the vegetable. So the source of guar gum is vegetable. If you see most of the pharmaceutical, most of the excipient supply from the West, they actually do a lot of work with farmers in UP. And they make them grow certain kind of vegetables to get guar gum. And we are not even aware about it. How do they make these excipients? Similarly, vegetable source and the mineral source. So the most toxic source of excipient comes from the mining. And the mining excipients are calcium carbonate, then magnesium stearate. All these are the mining excipients. The excipients can be in different states: gas, liquid, semi-solid, or solids. And generally, the excipients which we get, or the pharma companies which they buy, they are not really been made for the pharmaceutical use. So if you say a product like PVP or a povidone, which has been made by BASF, today they are making PVP or a povidone at the scale of 50,000 tons, 60,000 tons. And how much really did the pharma companies use out of that 60,000 tons? It's not more than 10,000 tons. And what do they do with the rest of the 50,000 or 40,000 tons? They have been used as a technical grade, or they can be used as a cosmetic grade. So in a technical grade, it goes into inks. The inks which we are using, it goes into that, or it goes into the paints as a viscosity modifier, or it can go into the cosmetics, into various cosmetic applications. So the amount of the material which they sell, other than pharma, is huge, and therefore they really don't care for the pharma. Pharma is being considered for them as a profitable business. So it will be 10% of their total volume which will be coming to the pharma. And hence it is important to understand who are these excipient suppliers, because they are going to make the largest impact into the growth of pharma. And this is where Indian companies needs to be also watchful. So there are many different types of application a single excipient can have it. And what is the contrast between excipient and API? That each excipient can go into many products. Okay, so PVP can go into several 300 products into any pharmaceutical company. But one API can only have 4 or 5 products. So that becomes very difficult once you use a certain excipient to change that excipient into your formulation. So these are 48 different applications of excipient, and one excipient can be used for various applications. So as I said, the origin of excipient we have understood, and the excipients can be made either into a batch processing, or it can also be used in a continuous processing. So coming to the next part, are really excipients inactive, or they are really simply inert diluents? And you can see here, the excipients can actually help for the drug absorption. So sometimes the excipients can make your poorly soluble API. They can improve the bioavailability of the poorly soluble API, like cyclodextrins. They are also excipients. They can help you to improve the solubility of the API. They can inhibit the efflux in the GIT. So you can see there are various ways by which the excipient can impact actually the drug activity when we are when we are injecting it. Now, when we are talking about pharmacokinetics, there are several polymers, methacrylate-based polymers. They actually change the way you want to release the drug into the body. Okay, sometimes like PPIs, you don't want them to release into the stomach. Okay, so what do? You coat them with a particular polymer, and you allow them to get released into alkaline pH. So these are the kind of a different role also excipient play. They also help to improve the stability of the drug. The simple excipient like cross-povidone helps to improve the vitamin C stability. You just mix vitamin C with povidone, you make a premix ready and use it in your tablet. You can improve the vitamin C stability by at least 12 months. So these are the simple ways by which excipient can actually enhance the stability of the APIs as well. You add several antioxidants into the formulation in order to stop the degradation or oxidative degradation of the several APIs. So you can see here the drug stability can also be improved, and hence we really cannot call them inert diluent, but they are the substance which actually help you to enhance or to make the drug to be used in an intended use. Okay? Oh, sorry. Okay, then I will go quickly. I would like to touch base on my last 3 slides. Okay? The last 3 slides are, okay, where and how the excipient performance has been tested. So there are only one document which will allow you to see the quality of the excipient today, and that is USP-NF and the general chapter of USP-NF. That at least define the safety part of the excipient. It does not define the efficacy part of the excipient. That has to be defined by the pharmaceutical companies. I actually wanted to come to the last part. This is a company where I work, and we are the only Indian manufacturer of excipients in the space of ready-mix coating. We have around 3-4 plants in India. The 4th one is coming in Vasai now, the new one. And we have around 25% of the share today in the market. And what we do is we give colors to the tablet. Okay? And these colors to the tablet is a step which has been taken away from the process of pharmaceutical industry because it's the most tedious step, and it cannot be handled by the pharmaceutical companies. And therefore, we do the color matching for them. And today, I have 50,000 codes. 50,000 codes is, each code is individual customized product for the pharmaceutical company. That complex the operations are in the industry. So I wanted to quickly go to where pharmacists fit into the chemical industry, because this is where the professors can actually look actively and guide their students to apply for. Okay? So the chemical industry generally require the pharmacists in research and development, because pharmacists know more about the trends. If they want to work on new excipient, because it's a profitable business, so the management is quite interested in investing into it, but they don't know which direction to go for. So research and development, quality control and assurance, because the regulatory in pharma is much more intense than any other industry. Regulatory affairs, technical support and sales, because all selling of excipient is the technical selling. There is no marketing selling. You need to know the subject in order to sell the excipient. Training and education internally within the chemical industry, because they simply do not understand what pharma talks about. Product management, consultancy, and contract manufacturing. So these are the areas where they actively look out for the pharmacist. Which are those companies? Dow Chemical and BASF, these are world's largest chemical company, and they have pharmaceutical divisions, and where they hire hundreds of the pharmacists all over the world. And I have seen today in US, in Europe, most of these companies hire Indians. I have also extensively worked in various countries on various projects, and the kind of knowledge which we carry because of the exposure, mere exposure which we have, we do extremely well as a pharmacist within the chemical company. Then there are other companies like DuPont, Merck, Evonik, Ashland, Eastman, Croda, and the Colocon. The Colocon is the group company. Idealcure is a group company of Colocon now. It's got acquired by Colocon. And these are the companies. So in Colocon, if you see, 100% of the employees all are pharmacists. Even in Idealcure, all my employees, and I insist to hire pharmacists, because we understand what needs to be given to the pharma companies. And our 100% of the product goes to the pharma companies. Okay, so this is my last summary slide. Pharmaceutical excipient represent a broad class of materials, and they are present in all state of matter. They are not APIs or finished product. We need to understand excipient composition. Excipient do not come in the pure form. Even if you see HPC, hydroxypropyl cellulose, as a powder, it is not 100% HPC. It has some diluent in order to allow the powder to flow. So there will be some kind of a diluent which will be added into an excipient. So it is very important for you to know what exactly is the composition of the excipient. We cannot avoid excipient variability. We must come into terms with it. So variability of excipient is given because sometimes they come from natural source. So you don't know in which weather the extract is being harvested. So it has a lot of impact. And this comes especially on the HPMC, high molecular weight HPMC, which goes into most of the anti-diabetic medicine. Continuous processing of pharmaceutical finished product will also acquire better understanding of the excipient and not the drug. Because continuous manufacturing is a trend today in pharma. You need to know more about the technology and you need to know more about the excipient. And I want to conclude, there are huge opportunities for pharmacists in excipient industry. This lecture is not enough to guide anyone, but this is my sincere request that please bring that awareness, and you also get awareness. You should start working by taking projects on excipients and not real excipients and the technology which you would like to use it, rather than focusing on the APIs. It will give you a different direction to your thesis, and all these chemical companies then will be very much interested in what the professors or the pharmacy colleges are really working on. Today they really do not look into, or they do not come for the promotion for any pharma event, because they generally don't find that the kind of work which they need to know or they want to have it from the colleges is being done. So thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Tavde, for wonderfully summing up, very aptly summing up the beauty and the magic of excipients. And then, touching the finer nuances like toxicity and subsequent, impurities and subsequent potential toxicity. And I think all the teachers, we have got a lead now that, we can go much beyond the role of a pharmacist in pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, cosmeceuticals, to so many other areas. Thank you so much. Any questions? Any questions from the audience? So ma'am, in fact, your presentation was so clear. I was like thinking that I am sitting through a lecture on excipients. It was so wonderfully conducted. So I think
I think it's late also, so I hope that I could deliver the message which I wanted to give.
You very aptly did. Thank you so much. Very efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request the session chair, Professor Dr. Monica Gulati ma'am, and to present our session speaker, Dr. Vaishali Taude ma'am, with the token of gratitude. Let's give a huge round of applause for ma'am. I request Dr. Ajit Yadav sir to present a token of gratitude to Dr. Monica Gulati ma'am. Sir, please join us on the stage. Let's give a huge round of applause for ma'am. I request Dr. Ajay Gupta sir to present our session co-chair Dr. Indra Parab ma'am with the token of gratitude. Sir, please join us on the stage. Let's give a huge round of applause for ma'am. Let's give a huge round of applause for all our dignitaries for part of being this session. I request the hospitality team to kindly escort our esteemed dignitaries to their respective seats.
Good evening, esteemed guests and respected dignitaries. Today, I, Shiva Shukla, and I, Meenakshi Singh, are truly honored and delighted to stand before you today as we gather for APTICON 2023. The session, JSS Oration Session, emphasizes the renowned JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, Mysore. It is the first university to receive 4-star among the health science-based institute in India. The college focuses on medical and health-related studies. We introduce the speaker of the session, Dr. Vanna Patravale Ma'am, National Convener, APTI Women Forum, and Professor of Pharmaceutics at the Institute of Chemical Technology, formerly known as UDCT in Mumbai. We feel honored to introduce the session chair, Professor Dr. Ajay Sachand Sir. We cordially introduce the session co-chair, Professor Dr. Raman Dang Sir. We now invite the session speaker, Dr. Vanna Patravale Ma'am, session chair, Professor Dr. Ajay Sachand Sir, and session co-chair, Professor Raman Dang Sir, to kindly grace their dais with their presence. Let's give a huge round of applause. I would like to introduce Vibhu Sahani sir as a co-chair for this session. We would like to request session co-chair Dr. Raman Dang sir to introduce the speaker of the session, Dr. Vandra Patravale Ma'am.
Yeah, good evening everybody. Last session of the day and we have the best speaker, Dr. Vandna Patravale. I think first time I'll be reading her CV because I know her so well in and out. So it will be a different pleasure altogether. So the speaker for today session, JSS Oration Lecture is Professor Dr. Vandna Patravale, Professor of Pharmaceutics at ICT. Prior it was known as UDCT. Research area expertise in area of novel nanocarriers of cosmeceuticals and other pertinent areas of national relevance, with major emphasis on malaria, cancer, neurodegenerative disorders. Her specific research interest includes nanotechnology-based drug and gene delivery system, vaccines, nanodiagnostics, tissue engineering, medical devices, and novel carriers for solubilization and formulation development thereof, exploring potential in indigenous excipients, modified release dosage forms for all routes of administration. Please give a big applause and welcome the speaker for this session, JSS Oration.
No problem. Thank you, Dr. Dang, for that kind introduction. And at the outset, of course, I would like to thank organizing committee also for giving me this opportunity to talk to you on JSS oration. My title is Innovation, the key driver to translation. Obviously, as introduced, I belong to this prestigious institute, Institute of Chemical Technology at Mumbai, which now has 2 more campuses, one in Bhubaneswar and another one in Jalna. And this institute has given 19 Padma awardees to the nation. So you can imagine it sets really very high standards for all of us to work. Innovation, when we talk about, and I say that it is a driving force for translation, ideation has to be done at university level, research institutes, it could be in hospitals, it could be all the startups. Translation also can happen in the institutes itself. But for translations, you can also have incubators or venture capitalists giving you some funds, angelists giving you funds, and then of course it has to be realized. So what happens in academia today is we are doing ideation, we do some work, take it to prototype development, that's preclinical research, and stop. So obviously, then there is a gap which happens and which can be seen on the slide. So we do technology development, but we are not able to do technology demonstration. And there are various reasons for that. And those reasons start from documentation in academia itself. So we need to be really very careful. We need to see that our MOU policies are very, very clear. We give deliverables in time. So that's a separate lecture altogether. So what we need to then look at is what are these key drivers? When we talk about what governs your innovation, obviously novelty comes into picture. The idea has to be novel. Only novel idea is not enough because it should be feasible. You have to use technologies which can be translated. Industry has certain infrastructure, so you need to have a pre-look at that infrastructure so that you can develop and transfer the technology. Obviously, you need to look at what is a competency with respect to IP scenario, intellectual properties. Not only you have to look at IP, you have to look at micro patents also, which many a times academia doesn't have access to. So one needs to look at that very, very critically. Then see whether whatever product you are developing, what sustainability it will have. So what will you do so that it is a sustainable life cycle, so that you can reap benefits over a period of time. That means you need to work very closely, hand in hand with industry, so that the technology can be commercialized and you have potential of generating revenue. Obviously, for this, government agencies, academia, industry and private organizations have to work hand in hand. There are still challenges which need to be tackled. What are these challenges? Diseases are emerging. You saw how COVID attacked us. Influenza already existed. COVID virus came. That's emerging. Drug resistance is getting developed. Lot of issues with respect to multi-drug resistant antibiotics, biological warfare, something to be really very scared of, occupational exposures, healthcare system funds and resources, everything needs to be considered. So these are still the challenges, and I was just talking to Dr. Shubhini, policies are not in place which need to be worked on too. Now coming to some case studies which will give you a glimpse as to how innovation can be driven and how we can lead to translation. So what I have done is actually picked up 3 small case studies due to lack of time. I will skip few slides, so kindly pardon me. The first study is with diagnosis, second is with prophylaxis, and third is with therapy. Now brucellosis is a condition, which affects both animals and human beings. And it is actually caused by B. abortus majorly. And you can see the kind of animals it affects, but from animals it also affects human beings. And there are nearly about 5 lakh human beings which get affected worldwide with this brucellosis. What does it do to you? In case of course, cats and cattle, it directly leads to abortion. But in case of human beings, it leads to fatigue, which goes on for years. You will not be able to diagnose what is the disease, but the only symptoms is fatigue and weakness. So obviously, if this is the case, we thought that we need to work at something so that farmers themselves can diagnose at their end. What was the problem? We do have techniques which are like in the case of COVID, ELISA or RT-PCR, which are very expensive. That means blood from the animals has to be taken, tests to be sent to the lab for testing. So that creates issues. So we thought, can we come up with a technology so that farmers at their workplace can take either milk or urine of animals and test it? And with that thought, we proceeded. So what was innovation in this? We've used very, very cost-effective materials. And of course, we have made use of nanotechnology here. So we've come up with what is known as point-of-care diagnostic kit. What happens? Already I have talked to you. The tests which are available right now in the market, they give false positive results. Maybe non-specificity is a problem also. And it majorly uses serological tests. So we thought we'll go ahead and utilize something which is easily accessible. So what did we do? As you can see on the slide, we have a very, very simple system, and this is known as immunochromatographic diagnostic test. And I've used ICT here. In fact, ICT stands for our institute name also. So it's a very simple thing wherein you have a conjugate pad, you have the test in the control line. What we have done here is we have made fluorescent silica nanosensors. So what people are using? They are using gold nanosensors. They are using all different types of highly expensive inorganic nanoparticles. What we have used is silica, which comes from rice husk, which is a waste material. So using that, we have lined it onto the antigen so that whatever antibody is there, suppose in your body, so through milk, through urine, or even test is valid also for the blood, but our aim was to look it in non-invasive fashion. So when you lay down the sample, what would happen is, if the sample is positive, both these layers will glow, and if it is negative, only one of the layer will glow. Why the control line also glows? Because control line acts as a positive control, where you have taken antibodies of whatever you are using. In this case, we have used lipopolysaccharide. So very, very simple test. Patent has been granted. We evaluated that, and first evaluation was whether this particular diagnostic test retains the LPS onto the fluorescent silica nanosensor surface. After we established that, we have tested in human samples, and you can see that the tests which are there are absolutely in agreement with RT-PCR and ELISA. So it is specific, it is sensitive, and obviously it is in agreement with the tests which are used using various other tests which are there in the market, which are very, very expensive. Similarly, we looked at cattle also. So number of cattle, more than 103. Now this test we have, in fact, we have given this diagnostic strip to LabCare India, and now the testing is going on in New Zealand. So we tested again in saliva, urine, and as you can see that it was a very sensitive and a very, very specific test. So what was the novelty here? Point of care, immunochromatographic test. We have used very simple raw materials like silica, non-invasive, no need of blood, and of course, for the first time we established that fluorescent silica nanosensors can be used in this lateral flow analysis, which is a very, very simple test. And if you can see this comparison, this is a comparative landscape, you will be surprised that cost per kit right now for ELISA is about $527 US. Another company sells it at $715. Yet another company markets it at $420 US. And what is the cost of our raw material for our kit? ₹10. So this technology in fact was awarded by President of India under Gyati Award. So what we have done is Gandhi Young Technology Innovation Award. We got money from the government to scale it up. So we could very easily scale up and give it to the company concerned. So here you can see the key differentiators which I have given. All the tests had their own disadvantages, but this ICDT is not only simple, gives accurate, reliable results, does not use blood samples, and as I mentioned, doesn't need any advanced facilities also. So that is the first case study. The second case study is which attracted for our lab Bill and Melinda Gates research grant. And this also became successful. We said that, okay, we have diagnosed something, but now can we also make a vaccine so that the animals do not get affected, and so will the human beings who eat either the dairy products or the meat products, or farmers who are in close vicinity with the animals, they will not get affected. So with this objective, we prepared a subunit vaccine for brucellosis using green approach, which in this case was supercritical particle generation technique. So all you have to do is, you have to use the polymer along with the antigen, put it in supercritical fluid fabrication apparatus, and directly what you will get would be the nanoparticles. Very simple, one step. And that is what, in fact, in our lab we look at, cost-effective technologies which can be scaled up. So obviously, there was no nano vaccine, so we were the first one to use the supercritical fabrication methodology. And here again, we focused on indigenous polymer, which is tamarind seed polysaccharide. You know that tamarind seed is very, very easily available throughout India. So, and this particular polysaccharide also, as Dr. Vaishali said, you know, we have characterized it. Everything has been done here. I'm just presenting a gist, all the toxicity data we have, preclinical data we have, carcinogenicity, xenotoxicity, all the data we have with us. So this also patent was granted. Obviously, when we did the testing, our NV50 is a nano vaccine. As you can see, it has given us particle size which is less than 300 nanometer. Here we have also used adjuvant as quiliosaponin, which is again natural products. So focus in the lab again has been on something which is indigenously available, can be scaled up. Why I'm showing you these studies, you know, we did all the testings, as you can see on the slides, gave the challenge also, a brucellosis challenge to animals, and we could look at that they are obviously not toxic to the normal cells, but when we are looking at IgG1 titers, IgG2 8 titers, and finally when we are also doing the bio burden studies, which you will see in the next slide, all the results have indicated that this particular nano vaccine is safe, it is very cost effective, and this slide indicates that it also is highly effective. What was the outcome? Yes, on one side we could do something which was for brucellosis. Obviously results were encouraging, but since brucellosis also transmission is through nasal route, we could apply the same technology for COVID. So during this period, we've got a DBT grant again from authorities to develop COVID vaccine, which will be intranasal. So this particular technology again has been transferred to the industry. And the third one, yes, we are also working on nanoparticulate modifications. So initially, as you know, we were working on all kind of passive diffusion processes. Now we are working on active diffusion processes so that nanoparticles get lodged where they are supposed to, so that there is no toxicity. Now people are using antibodies. They are using huge moieties, but what have we done? What is the differentiation factor here? We are working on Fe bodies. These Fe bodies are very, very small, 13 amino acid chain, very stable to temperature, very stable to pH. The net result is we are able to tag them with any kind of nanosystems. So here first, yes, we tried with docetaxel and we made docetaxel NLCs. What you can see in the red is a Fe body. In between there is a linker, and that's also a novel linker. Now what has gone from here to industry? It is not the product. What has gone to the industry is the linker. Because it was a novel linker, and industry realized that that linker can be used with any kind of products for targeting purposes. So obviously, as I indicated, results against specifically HER2 positive MCF7. It is used for breast cancer, and in breast cancer, as you know, about 30% to 40% population is HER2 positive. So we have Fe body which is specifically against that HER2, and we could utilize, and you can see that there is fair expression as can be seen in the last plot. So that's again regarding the specialized product. Next two slides and I end my presentation. This is about simple technologies. See, technologies, you need to keep it simple if you have to give it to industry. So what is this about? This is a product which was developed again during COVID period, and it is Indo-Irish collaboration. All of you would have done practicals, dispensing pharmacy at your time, wherein you were making oral suspension using chalk. So what was the challenge given by the company to us? They wanted a product which is non-antibiotic based to be used for foal, because obviously they get lot of diarrhea. So this product is specially designed for horses, and it can be given as a complementary feed. All we had to do is identify a formula, optimize the formula so that it has proper flavor, color, sweetener, etc. And within 3 months, this technology could be scaled up to 500 liter, and now it is being sold all over the world. This is another product, Chromalgin dental alginate. A company came to us saying that they would want to make a dental alginate. It is there in the market, but right now it is imported. We studied that, and they wanted a product with the differentiation. So what was being sold in the market was a 1 kg pack. You take 1 scoop out, mix it with water, put it in the mouth to take the impression, keep it. Then again when it changes the color, that's when you get the imprint. So we said, what are the problems? They said when you take that 1 scoop full out, the rest of the product catches moisture. So first thing is we said that we will develop something which can be given in small sachets. And second thing which we gave is, we added 2 indicators in this particular product. So first, dentists had to look at the time of mixing. So we said when the indicator changes color, you can put it in the dental cavity. And second, when it changes color on the denture, again you remove it, and that would be done. So this is again a product with differentiation. So with that, I have given you just a glimpse that how you can keep the technology very simple, do brainstorming, come up with ideas which can be scalable easily, and definitely sky is also not the limit. I would like to thank our major collaborators. You can see they are from industry as well as from academia, and in our lab we work with one motto, which is focus. Thanks from my VBP research group. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful session. As I have seen your session, they are precise on time, like today. So we open the session for 2 questions. We have time for 2 questions only. Anybody from the audience? Though it was very well explained.
Good question. You can see my bright students which come from all over India. So credit is to all of you who give me really good students. Thank you. I mean, they are my motivation. And most of the ideas, at least the last part which I showed you with 2 indicators, that has come from students. So ideas coming from students, you know, if you give them chance and motivate them. Yeah, that, as sir said, institute.
It's not a question, it's a comment to madam. I am fan when I heard first time in the Rayat Bara Institute about the stents and the nanoparticle, the way in which she used the nanomaterial, and the first successful stent from India, coated stent. It was she who did that. And I put her in the International Academy of Cardiovascular Sciences, but I was never knowing that she has got so many things in the pocket. Congratulations, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It's with blessings of you elders that we keep doing work. I'm so proud to see, Dr. Khar, Dr. Goel, Dr. Saranjit in the crowd. Really, that motivates me. I wish my father was here too.
So we will close the session with the remark that it's a challenge from ideation to incubation and then obviously to a startup, which ICT is famous for, and such great scientists working there. Obviously, these kind of things are well appreciated. So thank you, madam, for the really enlightening session. It is an inspiration to us. But because we go up to the level of incubation and ideation, it's not going to a startup level because investing is required, collaboration is required. But good, you have opened the door for us to learn from this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the excellent session. May I now request the chair and co-chair of the session to felicitate Dr. Vandana Patravale. प्रणय बोलना, प्रणय उनको बोलना. क्या? Hello. May I now request Dr. Sudhi Kulshrestha to come on the stage and felicitate Dr. Vibhusani. Dr. Sudhi Kulshrestha. Ruchi ma'am? Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Dr. Amit Nigam to come on the stage and felicitate Dr. Raman Dank, the Secretary of APTI. The Secretary of APTI has purposely asked for the Bihari and we are giving to you, sir. The Hanuman of APTI is receiving Banke Bihari ji. So thank you one and all, please, if you can take your seats. And a little announcement is there. The sponsors have contributed a lot for the successful of this APTICON. So the sponsor need to go tomorrow. They are present only for the day. So may I request the sponsor RC Patel Institution to come on the stage. And may I request Dr. Pranay Wal and Dr. Akash Ved to felicitate the sponsors. May I request if the LOC chairman is free, if he can come on the stage also, because his mind is roaming here and there for the success of this conference. So may I take a moment to invite the LOC chairman. A round of applause, please. All the facilities, all the things which we have managed just because of the sponsors. May I now request the Sandeep Institute, the members from Sandeep Institute to join the stage for the felicitation ceremony. May I request Dr. Vishal Jain to join the felicitation ceremony for the sponsors. Dr. Vishal Jain from Chhattisgarh. Dr. Vishal Jain, if you are here in the auditorium, please join us. Pranay? Pranay, third. Pranay, third कौन है? बस दो ही थे. So we'll take a break of 15 minutes, and luckily we have managed a Bollywood singer Shankar Sahani, who is joining soon for this auditorium. Band will take 15 minutes. Meanwhile, they can go for a tea. So after 15 minutes, we are here to witness a cultural night which will relax you, I think. Please join this auditorium after 15 minutes. Thanks a lot. पता नहीं मैंने किसको बुलाना था वहाँ पे